Chapter 208. A Genius Remembering Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Xiling, our Medicine Valley needs such unreasonable people. Everyone knows about the situation at Taishan Peak. The Valley Master was domineering when he was at Taishan Peak. Now, the same spirit still exists at Taishan Peak. If the entire Medicine Valley has the same spirit as the Taishan Peak, then who would dare to strut around in the Medicine Valley? Great Elder said as he knocked his walking stick on the ground. It's because you're strong. You're just a bully. Yi Xiling said as she glanced at Yu Yangyu. You. Great Elder was a little helpless. However, he also understood that the reason for being domineering was because of her personality and her strength. A domineering person without strength would be beaten to a pulp. Night Sorrow, I'm leaving now. Remember my words. Yi Xiling waved at Night Sorrow and left. Gong Xian and the others were helpless. Yi Xiling was determined to poach Yi Xiling to the end. Even if she lost face, she did not give up on this idea. Peak Master Ye's greatest strength is her persistence. No matter what she does, she will never give up easily. This is what you all need to learn, Great Elder said to Gong Xian and the others. Gong Xian and the others nodded. They had indeed seen this point. Night Sorrow, 9th level of element gathering tier. You can't rush from now on. Take it slow, Great Elder said to Night Sorrow. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, Night Sorrow bowed and was about to leave. He still wanted to go back and cultivate. Don't go out during this period. You must attend the celebration of Grand Elder Hua entering the Venerable One realm, Yu Yangyu said. I will congratulate Grand Elder Hua, Yi Diandian said. That's not the case. During the celebration, many sects will come here with their disciples. Sparring is unavoidable. The sect needs you to fight, Yu Yangyu said to Night Sorrow. Eldest senior brother, send someone to inform me when the time comes. I will definitely be there, Night Sorrow said to Gong Xian. Alright, you go back first. I'll arrange for 2 servant disciples to go over later. Gong Xian nodded to Night Sorrow. In the Medicine Valley, or rather, in the various forces, he was a disciple who was worth nurturing. They didn't have to worry about trivial matters. They had servants and odd jobs disciples to serve them. Only in this way could they concentrate on cultivating. When he returned to his residence at Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu practicing her swordsmanship. Her body danced like a fairy descending to the mortal world. You're back. Did you deal with it? Sikong Chuyu stopped cultivating and asked. Yes. Not only did she apologize, but she also gave me a bottle of medicinal pills. It should be healing pills. Yi Shang took out the bottle of pills Yi Yiling had given him. He poured out 1 pill and studied it. Then, he confirmed that it was a core fortifying pill for healing injuries. It was a high-grade pill that could be used when one's true energy was unstable due to internal injuries. I'll give you half. Night Sorrow took out a jade bottle and poured the medicinal pills out. I have some. When I'm outside, how can my parents and grandfather not give me medicinal pills? You take care of yourself, Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and began to cultivate. He cultivated the wind spear art, the killing fist art, and the dragon leap steps together. While performing the dragon leap steps, Night Sorrow slowly integrated the artistic conception of Suiyun body art. The ingenuity of the dragon leap steps was its strangeness, variability, and speed. The artistic conception of Suiyun body art was its elegance and flexibility. These 2 aspects did not conflict. Sikong Chuyu was stunned for a moment when she saw Night Sorrow cultivating his body art. She also cultivated the dragon leap steps, but it was inferior to Night Sorrow's. In terms of flexibility, there was no way to compare. Moreover, it looked elegant and unrestrained. However, she did not ask. This was considered a personal matter. If it was inconvenient for him to answer, Night Sorrow would be in a difficult position. At noon, some odd-job disciples came over with vegetables, fruits, and other things. Night Sorrow instructed them to help Tianyu roast some food every morning. After that, they could go back. Night Sorrow knew how to cook. When he was living with Father Gu in Bamboo Garden Village, he did it himself. As for roasting food for Tianyu, Night Sorrow felt that it wasn't good to keep feeding Tianyu beast origin pills. If Tianyu liked it, it was better to eat demon beast meat if he had the time. What Night Sorrow hadn't expected was that Sikong Chuyu also knew how to cook. Moreover, his skills were pretty good. However, Sikong Chuyu didn't allow him to drink wine. He could only drink tea. In the blink of an eye, over 20 days passed. Although he didn't use origin gathering pills to cultivate, Night Sorrow's cultivation base had advanced to the mid-9th level of essence gathering realm. His myriad Dao Cannon's cultivation base had advanced very quickly. He had already reached the late 6th level of muscle strengthening. Although he wasn't far from the 7th level of muscle strengthening, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. That was because tomorrow was the day of the celebration for Hua Yunping's advancement to the 6th rank Venerable Realm. Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei had come together to inform Night Sorrow. At noon, they had lunch together. Mo Chen wanted to drink wine. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu. You should drink when there are guests. I'm saying that you should drink less when you're alone. I'm not forbidding you from drinking. Sikong Chuyu felt a little embarrassed when Night Sorrow looked at him. Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei were also looking at him. 13, not bad. You know how to be obedient now. Mo Chen smiled. 11th senior brother, you're teasing me. Tomorrow is the celebration. What do I have to do? Night Sorrow asked. The celebration, or rather, the establishment ceremony. Tomorrow, all the higher-ups of the Medicine Valley will be there. The disciples of the Origin ranking, Alchemy ranking, and Heaven ranking will also be there. There will be some challenges in between, Mo Chen said. Then I'll wait for the arrangement tomorrow. Night Sorrow nodded. Many people will come this time. The Golden Flame sect, the Freedom sect, and the Southern Dipper sect will all send people to watch the ceremony. They are the 3 superpowers. The Fire Tiger sect, the Tai clan of Nanyang City, and the Oak clan of the 8 Li Castle will also come. They are the first-class forces in the territory of the Golden Flame sect, which is similar to our Medicine Valley. But that was in the past. Now, they can't compare with our Medicine Valley. In addition, many people from the Qingshui sect will also come. Mo Chen poured wine for Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. They will definitely cause trouble if they come. I'm the one who caused the trouble, Night Sorrow said with a smile. It's none of your business. The Qingshui sect won't make trouble in a day or two. During the celebration, these sects will send their disciples to the stage to compete. To put it bluntly, it's a process of fighting for face and slapping faces, Mo Chen said to Night Sorrow. But my cultivation is too low. I don't think I can do it. Night Sorrow was a little unconfident. What are you afraid of? Soldier against soldier, general against general. Of course, people in the energy gathering realm will compete with people of the same level. I'm the one who's depressed. I won't get any merit points this time, Mo Chen curled his lips and said. What do you mean? Sikong Chuyu asked for Night Sorrow. Why forever G long free of charge X, reading novel I. Chapter 209. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Useless. Are you planning to stay in the core condensation realm forever? Chu Lingfei glared at Mo Chen. That's not what I meant. I just feel that it's a pity that I didn't earn merit points. It's a bit troublesome to go out and take on missions to earn merit points. Seeing that Chu Lingfei was a bit angry, Mo Chen hurriedly explained. Then senior brother and big sister Lingfei won't participate? Night Sorrow asked. Yes. Your senior brother and I are in the soul severing stage. It's useless for us to go, so we won't go. Chu Lingfei nodded. Then tomorrow, big sister Lingfei will accompany Chu Yu to watch the ceremony. Night Sorrow spoke his mind. Night Sorrow, don't you want me to accompany you? Don't you want me to follow you? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow shook his head. There will be many people tomorrow. I'm worried that if I go out, I'll be noticed. You'll be easily discovered if you're by my side. Of course, I want you to accompany me. Okay then. I'll follow big sister Lingfei tomorrow. After hearing Night Sorrow's answer, Sikong Chuyu was very satisfied. After staying for a while, Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei left. After walking for a while, Chu Lingfei turned back to look at Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu, who were washing the dishes. She nodded silently. They get along very well. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichux.com. Mo Chen smiled. Originally, I was worried that Sikong's cultivation level and background wouldn't be suitable for 13. In the future, 13 might leave quietly. But now, I'm not worried. After cultivating for a night, Night Sorrow changed into Medicine Valley's tights and left the room. Sikong Chuyu was also ready. Here, put on the outer robe too. Sikong Chuyu put on Night Sorrow's white silk robe with red edges. Night Sorrow nodded. During this period of time, he had learned to accept Sikong Chuyu's kindness. Sikong Chuyu also covered his face with a veil. After pondering for a moment, Night Sorrow removed the hollow jade pendant from his waist and placed it in his bosom. Why didn't you bring it? Sikong Chuyu asked. I'm afraid I'll break it, Night Sorrow said as he patted his chest. Sikong Chuyu smiled. She felt warm in her heart. Night Sorrow didn't say anything heartwarming, but his simple actions showed the most practical things. He ran into Mo Chen and Chu Lingfei as soon as he walked out of the bamboo forest. I'm here to pick you up. In order not to attract attention, Sikong, come with me. Chu Lingfei said with a smile. 13, come with me. You're under a lot of pressure this time. The geniuses of Golden Flame sect, Su Yuan, Zhang Xia, and the little devil of Xiaoyao sect are all here. I've asked around. They're all said to be invincible at the same level. They're all at the peak of essence gathering stage, Mo Chen said to Night Sorrow. It doesn't matter. After they defeat me, it'll be more appropriate for them to say that they're invincible, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Ha! Well said. I don't think Medicine Valley can beat him. I don't think Lin Tianjue can do it. I wonder if EU from Wuwei Peak can do it. Mo Chen said. Baidu search AI go xiao shua www.aichux.com. Who's EU? He's very powerful. Is he stronger than Lin Tianjue? Night Sorrow asked. Lin Tianjue, how should I describe him? He's just a piece of shit. EU's combat strength is very strong. He's ranked 10th on the pill ranking and reached it at the 7th level of the core condensation realm. He has very strong combat strength. He's been in seclusion for a long time and has been doing sect missions. He's already at the peak of core condensation realm. That's good. This is the Grand Elder's celebration, the Medicine Valley's establishment ceremony. It'd be a shame if it was destroyed so easily, Night Sorrow and Mo Chen chatted as they walked. They didn't arrive at Taishan Peak because Gong Xian and the others had already set off. Riding on flying beasts, they went straight to the square of the mountain gate. This time, the seats set up in the square were different from those in the past. The Medicine Valley seats were in the front. Some chairs were placed in front of them. Behind them were 12 groups, each with some chairs in front of them. In addition, there were also seats set up in the east, west, and south sides with some chairs. Mo Chen took Night Sorrow directly to the back of Gong Xian. 13th uncle has a seat, but we don't, Chu Ning, who was standing behind the seat, muttered. Then I'll let you sit. Do you want to sit? Yang Lei looked back at Chu Ning and asked. Ninth Martial Aunt, please forgive me. I'm just not awake and talking nonsense, Chu Ning quickly apologized. If there was someone that the third-generation disciples of Taishan Peak feared the most, it would be Yang Lei. Too many people had seen the rattan fried meat. Am I that scary? Junior brother Tao, let's change seats. 13th uncle, am I that scary? Yang Lei pulled Tao Yuan and sat in Tao Yuan's seat. She reached out and wrapped her arms around Night Sorrow's neck. Ninth senior sister is the best senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. A-I-E initial D, start, ahem. 13th uncle, your words are hurting 6th senior sister's heart, Aoi coughed and said. 6th senior sister, you don't have to say anything. She is Night Sorrow's best senior sister, just like 9th senior sister, Night Sorrow said with a smile. 13th uncle is the best. This is the good wine that 6th senior sister made. If there's a battle later, drink some after it's over, Aoi said as she handed Night Sorrow a jar of wine. 13th uncle, you're too shameless. You drank all of 6th senior sister's good wine. The other senior brothers and I drank less than you in 10 years, Sure Tianlin said as he looked at the jar of wine in Night Sorrow's hand. 8th senior brother, do you want to compare how much 6th senior sister favors 13th senior brother? The result is that you won't have any wine to drink in the future. Yang Lei said with a smile. All right. I didn't say anything, Sure Tianlin said helplessly. How about this, after the ceremony is over, us senior brothers and junior sisters will gather at the little house in the bamboo forest. We'll have a good gathering and drink as much as we want, Aoi said with a smile. Thank you, 6th senior sister, Sure Tianlin and Tao Yuan said with a smile. In the middle of the main seats, Grand Elder and Yu Yangyu sat and chatted. Valley Master, Taishan Peak senior brothers and junior sisters are really close. This is something that other peaks can't compare to. This is also something that I'm proud of. I hope they can maintain this friendship forever, Yu Yangyu smiled. As the master, he was proud of the harmony between his disciples. Don't worry about it. They're all past the age of being competitive. There won't be any conflicts, Grand Elder said with a smile. Yu Yangyu nodded. He was relieved that none of his disciples were greedy. Previously, when he was appointed as the Valley Master of Danding Peak, he asked his disciples if they were willing to follow him to Danding Peak. However, no one went. If they followed Yu Yangyu to Danding Peak, they would have the chance to be groomed as the Valley Master's successor. Everyone knew this, but no one went. Even Night Sorrow didn't want to go. It was clear that no one cared about the status and identity. This made Yu Yangyu happy but also disappointed. Chapter 210. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/shao. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. The Freedom Sect and the Southern Dippers Sect have both sent their elders and direct disciples here. Su Huantian, the Venerable of the Golden Flame Sect, is here to find out the truth, said the first elder. This is a challenge. Su Huantian's cultivation is much stronger than the Supreme Elder who just entered the Venerable realm. If the Supreme Elder can withstand it, the Medicine Valley will have no problem, said Yu Yangyu. Supreme Elder Hua has always been very steady and won't take risks. In this area, it's unlikely for Su Huantian to defeat Supreme Elder Hua easily, said the first elder. Yu Yangyu nodded. After Hua Yunping advanced, he had been staying at Danding Cliff to stabilize his cultivation and communicate with the 8-dragon cauldron. As time went by, almost all the guests had arrived. Then Qian Wu walked to the main seat. He was the host today. Qian Wu walked to the front of the stage and said, "The celebration for our Grand Supreme Elder entering the Venerable Realm will now begin. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming. Grand Supreme Elder Hua will personally thank all of you later." In the area of the Southern Dipper sect, a man stood up and walked to the main seat. He said, "I'm Nanjun Yuan of the Southern Dipper sect. I'm here to congratulate you on the order of the sect master. I'll send you 2 Southleaf Firestones. Baidu search love go/xiaoshua www.aichux.com. Thank you for your hospitality, Sect Master Nan." Yu Yangyu stood up and took the gift from Nanjun Yuan. "You're welcome, Valley Master Lu." Nanjun Yuan cupped his hands and left. Nanjun Yuan was the son of the sect master of the Southern Dipper sect. His congratulatory gift was very important. Then, people from other forces came forward to present their congratulatory gifts. Everyone knew that the Golden Flame sect and the Medicine Valley would fight. The Medicine Valley's venerable might be suppressed, but what if he wasn't? It wouldn't be a good thing to offend the Medicine Valley, so they had to present their congratulatory gifts. The Fire Tiger sect, the Tai clan of Nanyang City, the O clan of Aitley Castle, and the Green Water sect all sent congratulatory gifts. The master of the Green Water sect, Miao Shui, came. Though his son's arm was chopped off by Night Sorrow, he still had to present a congratulatory gift. Before the celebration in Medicine Valley, Miao Shui had gone to the Golden Flame sect. Zhang Tianyi, the deputy chief of the Golden Flame sect, received him and promised him that if he took over the Medicine Valley today, the management of the Medicine Valley area would be handed over to the Qing Shui sect. However, since the Golden Flame sect didn't launch an attack, the Green Water sect didn't dare to act recklessly. Without the support of the Jinyan sect, the Medicine Valley could kill the Qing Shui sect as easily as killing a chicken. The gifts from the Southern Dipper sect and Free and Unfettered sect were received by Yu Yangyu. The gifts from the other families and factions were received by Qian Wu. This was a matter of status. Now that the Medicine Valley had a venerable, it was no longer on the same level as the other first-class factions in the territory of the Golden Flame sect. As the chief of the Medicine Valley, Yu Yangyu didn't need to lower his status. Qian Wu had already shown great respect by accepting the gifts. The factions that came to congratulate the Medicine Valley all presented their gifts. Now, only the Golden Flame sect was left. Everyone's eyes fell on the Golden Flame sect. They wanted to see how the Golden Flame sect would deal with the conflict with the Medicine Valley a few days ago. As for the gifts from the Golden Flame sect, wait until your venerable arrives and has the ability to take them. An old man appeared at the front of the seats of the Golden Flame sect. Then, he sat on the seat that Zhang Tianyi gave up. "Greetings, Venerable Huantian." The disciples of the Golden Flame sect all bowed. "All right." Yu Yangyu smiled. "I heard that there are many talents in the Medicine Valley. Let us see them. Zhang Ping, go up and see if there are any talents in the energy-gathering realm in the Medicine Valley. If they are mediocre, just kill them. They are useless to keep," Zhang Tianyi said to a young man behind him. "Ha! Well said. Vice Sect Leader Zhang is right. If they are mediocre, then there is no need to keep them. Who wants to fight?" Hearing Zhang Tianyi's words, the great elder was so angry that he laughed. He shouted to the disciples of the Medicine Valley behind him. "Disciple will fight." Just as Night Sorrow stood up and was about to fight, Feng Yan stood up from behind the Wuwei Peak seats and walked towards the arena in the middle of the square. Why are you in such a hurry? When we need you, we will call you. These small fries don't need you. Yang Lei's right hand, which was wrapped around Night Sorrow's neck, pulled Night Sorrow back to his seat. Night Sorrow nodded. At the same time, he looked towards the Medicine Valley. Then, he saw Sikong Chuyu and Chu Lingfei at an inconspicuous spot behind the Danding Peak seats. Seeing Night Sorrow looking over, Sikong Chuyu, who was wearing a veil, nodded slightly. Her beautiful eyes blinked slightly as she signaled to Night Sorrow. Turning around, Night Sorrow's nose twitched. Yang Lei was too close to him. Her scent was wafting into his nose. Little gangster, what are you doing? Yang Lei, who was leaning against Night Sorrow, scolded Night Sorrow in a very low voice. Looking at the people around him, Night Sorrow didn't dare to retort. At this moment, Feng Yan and Zhan Ping were facing each other in the arena. Original song, F.A., what's your rank on the Medicine Valley's Yuan leaderboard? Zhan Ping asked Feng Yan as he drew his long sword from his waist. 7th on the Yuan leaderboard. As for your position in the Golden Flame sect, I'm not interested, Feng Yan said as he waved the battle blade in his hand. Today is a good day. Then, I'll use your blood to dye this festive color, Zhan Ping said as he waved his sword and attacked. Feng Yan waved his blade to block, and the two of them started fighting in the arena. Feng Yan's flaming wind blade technique was swift and fierce. It was very domineering. On the other hand, Zhan Ping's movements were swift and his sword was tricky. Every time he attacked, he would attack Feng Yan's vital points from impossible angles. Feng Yan is a little impatient. If this goes on, he won't have a good chance of winning, Yang Lei said as she looked at the situation in the arena. Night Sorrow could also tell that Zhan Ping was very cunning. He relied on his quick movements and tricky sword to attack Feng Yan, depleting Feng Yan's qi. The main thing was that Feng Yan's violent blade technique consumed more qi than Zhan Ping's. If this goes on, won't Feng Yan lose? What should we do? Night Sorrow asked anxiously. There's nothing we can do. This is the arena. The Great Elder and the other party had made it very clear that this is a battle of elimination, Yang Lei said as she looked at the arena coldly. Just as Night Sorrow was worried, there was a change in the arena. Suddenly, Feng Yan's body stopped. The battle blade in his right hand also stopped attacking. When Feng Yan stopped, Zhan Ping's long sword stabbed into his waist. When Zhan Ping's attack succeeded, it was also the moment when he was in danger. Feng Yan suddenly stretched out his empty left hand and grabbed Zhan Ping's right hand that was holding the sword. Following which, he swung the battle blade in his right hand down. Zhan Ping's face changed as he kicked towards Feng Yan's waist. Feng Yan ignored Zhan Ping's kick and swung the battle blade in his right hand downwards. No sound was heard. Everyone only saw a flash of blood as Zhan Ping's right arm was chopped off by Feng Yan. However, Feng Yan was also kicked back a few steps. Chapter 211. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with interesting novels to read. How could Zhan Ping block Feng Yan's attack when he lost his weapon and an arm with blood flowing out? Zhan Ping tried his best to dodge Feng Yan's 2 slashes and turned to run. However, his balance and speed had decreased due to the loss of his arm. Feng Yan caught up to him in an instant. Feng Yan slashed Zhan Ping's back with all his strength and shattered his internal organs. Zhan Ping's body bent backward as he let out a final scream. Then, Feng Yan kicked his body out of the arena. After killing Zhan Ping, Feng Yan went to Medicine Valley's side and bowed while ignoring his bleeding waist. Valley Master, Grand Elder, I've killed a mediocre disciple. Very well. A mediocre disciple is useless. Just kill him. Go and treat your wounds. Yu Yangyu waved his hand and threw a pill bottle to Feng Yan. Fire Tiger Sect's disciple, Guan Zhongyue, would like to challenge you. A young man from the Fire Tiger sect jumped into the arena. Medicine Valley's disciple, who would like to challenge me? Yu Yangyu asked. He understood the situation today. Fire Tiger sect, Tai family of Nanyang City, O family of Eight Li Castle, and Green Water sect would stand on the Golden Flame sect's side to attack Medicine Valley. After all, these forces were affiliated to the Golden Flame sect. They all knew that no matter how the situation developed today, their current decision would not be wrong. Regardless of whether the Medicine Valley's Venerable won or lost, it would not harm their interests. If the Medicine Valley lost, they would have performed well in front of the Golden Flame sect. If the Medicine Valley withstood the attack, they would still have the Golden Flame sect to back them up. Therefore, the leaders of these forces had instructed their disciples to join forces to attack the Medicine Valley. As for the Nanda sect and the Walkabout sect, the Medicine Valley knew about them. Nan's Henyuan had communicated with Yu Yangyu and both sides had formed an alliance. As for the Walkabout sect, it was hard to say. At least they were not enemies. Your disciple is willing to come. Enlightenment stepped forward. He knew of Guan Zhongyue. The two of them had crossed paths before. At that time, there was no clear victor. He knew that among the current disciples on the Yuan ranking, other than Night Sorrow and Lan Yu, no one could defeat Guan Zhongyue. Lan Yu was a woman, and Night Sorrow was not suitable to fight at the moment. Only he was the most suitable. Good. As I said before, there is no need to keep mediocre people alive. Whether they live or die is up to fate, the great elder said. Enlightenment. We fought a year ago. I wonder how you've progressed this year, Guan Zhongyue said, waving his sword. You'll only know after you try. I won't let you down. Although the arena was filled with killing intent, Enlightenment's face was still full of smiles. What a hypocrite. You obviously want to kill him, but you still have a smile on your face. 13. You should learn from him, Aoi said to Night Sorrow. This is the style of Danding Peak. Our Taishian Peak doesn't need it. If you want to kill someone, just do it. What's the point of wasting time? 13. Don't you agree? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I think so too. Night Sorrow nodded seriously. He really couldn't learn from Enlightenment. You too. I say, you too. Tao Yuan looked at Yang Lei, who was hugging Night Sorrow's shoulder, and didn't know what to say. Yang Lei looked at Tao Yuan. What's wrong? Nothing. Let's watch the match. Tao Yuan turned to look at the arena. In the arena, Enlightenment and Guan Zhongyue had already started to fight. This was different from the previous matches between fellow disciples. They were using deadly moves. They're almost on par. That guy from Fire Tiger sect is already so hard to deal with. I wonder how strong Su Yuan and Zhan Xia from Golden Flame sect are. Mo Qin was a little worried. The situation was not good for Medicine Valley. 13. Let me ask you. Are you confident of winning against such an opponent? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No problem, right? I don't see how strong he is. He's just a little faster, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow was speaking from his own experience. When he was in the middle stage of Element Gathering Realm, Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of close combat because of his strength. However, because his cultivation of true Qi was low, his speed couldn't keep up with others. Now that he was in the middle stage of the 9th level of Element Gathering Realm, coupled with Dragon Leap steps, Night Sorrow wasn't afraid of anyone in the same level as him. Very soon, there was a clear winner in the field. In the first round, Qiming, like Feng Yan, injured Guan Zhongyue's right arm. At the same time, Qiming's left shoulder was also injured. There was a wound so deep that the bone could be seen. Blood had already dyed his battle robe red. Smart. Although the injury is serious, his combat ability won't decrease much. His opponent's injury is light, but it will affect his combat ability, Yang Lei said. In fact, that was the truth. Enlightenment's left shoulder was injured, but his right arm was still performing sword arts, so his attack power didn't decrease. However, Guan Zhongyue's right arm was greatly affected. He was suppressed by enlightenment and was forced to retreat. The injuries on his body were increasing. Then, at the edge of the arena, enlightenment killed Guan Zhongyue with one strike. However, he also stumbled. He lost too much blood and was a little dizzy. Fortunately, the battle was over. He persevered until he killed his opponent. Yongbijiu. Free, look at the small queue. Some disciples of the Medicine Valley went up and helped enlightenment, who was leaning on the ground with his long sword, down. The Medicine Valley was applauding. Compared to the Medicine Valley, the other areas were silent. Everyone could see that enlightenment and Guan Zhongyue were on par. However, enlightenment, who had rich combat experience, knew how to weaken his opponent's ability. In the end, he was the last one to laugh. Nanxing, did you see that? This is the embodiment of combat experience. Many times, the level of cultivation isn't the absolute factor that determines the outcome of a fight, Nanjun Yuan said to a young man beside him. It was his son. Father, I want to go up on the arena, the young man said. Today's battle is not suitable. There must be a meaning to the battle. Nanjun Yuan shook his head. Today wasn't a grand event for fighting. It was a grand event for one side to show off their strength and the other side to embarrass themselves. The Southern Dipper sect couldn't embarrass the Medicine Valley. Of course, they couldn't stand up for the Medicine Valley either. Very well. I don't know if the Medicine Valley dares to fight to the death. After you go up on the arena, don't go down until you die, Tianyi stood up and said. Hearing Tianyi's words, Nanjun Yuan frowned. This was ruthless. They were going to fight to the death with the lives of their disciples. The faces of the people from the Fire Tiger sect, the Tai family of Nanyang City, the O family of Eightley Castle, and the Greenwater sect changed. If the Medicine Valley agreed, then the next battle would be a fight to the death. Those who continued to fight would have to face the endless battles even if they won. Tianyi, are the lives of the disciples of the Golden Flame sect so worthless? The great elder said with a cold face. This is the fate of the cultivators. Why don't you dare? Tianyi sneered and said. Great elder, disciple will pick you up. Lan Yu, who was sitting behind Crepe Myrtle, stood up and walked outside. Night Sorrow exhaled, reached out and took away Yang Lei's hand on his shoulder and walked out of his seat. Lan Yu, wait for a moment. Let me do it. Master, great elder, disciple is willing to fight. Night Sorrow walked out and bowed to Yang Yu. Chapter 212. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow, step down. The great elder looked at Night Sorrow and growled. At this moment, both sides were competing to see who was more ruthless. The great elder was unwilling to see his disciple lose his life so easily. 13. Yang Yu looked at Night Sorrow and frowned. He knew what the upcoming battle meant. Master, it is Night Sorrow's fortune to be your disciple. At the same time, it is also a kind of responsibility. As your disciple, I will not tarnish the reputation of Taishan Peak and Medicine Valley. Great Elder, please return to the arena. Disciple apologizes to you. Night Sorrow walked towards the arena with the reincarnation spear in his hand. Just as the great elder was about to stop him, a figure flashed and appeared. It was Hua Yunpeng in a plain white robe. "Let him go." After speaking, Hua Yunpeng glanced at Su Huantian. He swung his robe and sat on the seat in the middle covered with red silk. That was the main seat for today. Will Night Sorrow be all right? Sikong Chuyu, who was behind Danding Peak, was a little nervous. Since Grand Elder Hua allowed him to go up, he will be fine. Chu Lingfei consoled Sikong Chuyu. Walking to the front of the arena, Night Sorrow took out 2 sky-piercing grass and stuck them on his waist. He waved the reincarnation spear in his right hand and said, "Medicine Valley, Taishan Peak disciple Night Sorrow. Please enlighten me." Did you see that, Nanqing? Calm and collected. In the face of a life and death battle, his heart is still as water. This young man's temperament is worth learning. Love Go Little Say Wang, Chunanjin Yuan educated his son on the spot. "Oh family head, you're O family's disciple, are you not going to give it a try?" Zhang Tianyi looked at 8 Fort's O family head, O Xintian. "Oh Bin, you go and test his strength." O Xintian hesitated for a moment and shouted to a disciple behind him. A young man appeared in the O clan's camp along with O Xintian's words. He held a pair of blades, and walked towards the ring. The 8-mile Fort's O family was the same as the Medicine Valley. They were both first-rate forces among the Golden Flame sect's subsidiary forces. They were famous for their drifting cloud saber technique, which was a dual saber technique. It was extremely terrifying. "Please make your move." Night Sorrow twisted his right wrist, and the reincarnation spear let out a soft hum as the tip of the spear pointed upwards. O Bin stomped on the ground and rushed towards Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow's body did not move. The reincarnation spear in his right hand pierced forward. The spear's body was imbued with 20 layers of vibration force. His target was O Bin's throat. Love Go Little Say Ku. When he was at the 4th level of element gathering tier, Night Sorrow had already cultivated 42 layers of vibration force. Currently, he could use 48 layers of vibration force. Recently, he had changed his direction. He did not pursue quantity, but rather speed and strength of vibration force. Seeing that Night Sorrow did not dodge, O Bin's direction did not change. The battle blade in his right hand pierced towards the reincarnation spear, while the battle blade in his left hand was ready to strike. His target was Night Sorrow's chest. Ding! #starter H. When the battle blade in O Bin's right hand came into contact with the reincarnation spear, it was immediately shaken off. Even his arm was shaken off. While O Bin did not understand the situation, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear pierced and flicked, cutting his throat. First one. Night Sorrow took a few steps back and spat out these 3 words. 13 is mighty. Mo Chin stood up and shouted. Then, the Medicine Valley side was filled with cheers. Night Sorrow's attack was too domineering. Night Sorrow waved his left hand behind him to stop the cheers. Then, he looked at the opposite side and said, "Next one." Someone from the 8-mile Fort's O clan came up to collect the corpse, but he glared at Night Sorrow fiercely. Then, a person from the Green Water sect came out. His name was Miao Xiaoyun, Miao Xiaojuan's cousin. "Today, I will use your life to compensate for our young master's arm," Miao Xiaojun said as he waved the long sword in his hand. "No need to talk nonsense. If you want my life, you can take it with your strength," Night Sorrow said calmly. "Then go to hell." Miao Xiaoyun stomped on the limestone floor, causing debris to fly everywhere. He leaped into the air and slashed towards Night Sorrow with his sword in both hands. Night Sorrow did not move the reincarnation spear in his right hand. Instead, he pulled out the sky-piercing spear with his left hand and threw it out. A black light flashed as the sky-piercing spear blasted away Miao Xiaoyun's sword. The spear pierced through Miao Xiaoyan's chest and brought his body to the edge of the arena. Night Sorrow stepped lightly on the limestone floor and rushed to Miao Xiaoyan's corpse. He pulled out the sky-piercing spear and checked that there was no trace of blood. Then, he stabbed the spear into his waist. Second one. It was a simple word without any killing intent, but it brought endless pressure to the people from the Flaming Tiger clan, Green Water sect, 8 Mile Fort Zhou clan, and Nanyang City's Tai clan. 13th uncle wasn't such a ruthless person in the past. Why is he trying to take someone's life today? Tang Tian was shocked. In his memory, Night Sorrow was hardworking and persistent, but he did not have such a strong killing intent. Are you all pigs? Don't you know that there will be no truce until one of us dies? Fighting with others will consume a lot of energy. You will die of exhaustion. Yang Lei turned around and shouted angrily. No one is coming. I heard the Golden Flame sect has sent a lot of geniuses and monsters, Night Sorrow said as he looked at the Golden Flame sect. While Night Sorrow was speaking, 2 youths from the Golden Flame sect stood up. Sit down. Tai Clan Master, I heard your clan's Tai Fei is very outstanding. I wonder if he is as strong as this young man. Zhang Tianyi asked as he looked at the Tai clan. Tai Zhongyan, go give it a try. The Tai clan master of Nanyang City shouted at the disciple behind him. He did not send out the disciple Zhang Tianyi had mentioned. The disciples with potential in the clan were the future pillars of the clan. The reason he had sent out the other disciples was because he wanted to find out Night Sorrow's strength. Tai Zhongyan nodded and walked toward the arena. He knew he was cannon fodder, but he had to act appropriately. If he didn't want to be cannon fodder, he had to kill Night Sorrow. Tai Zhongyan had learned his lesson from his previous opponents. He did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he stood there with a black iron staff as thick as his arm. Come. Let's see how strong you are. You are very sad, but this is the life and death arena. After he finished speaking, Night Sorrow stomped on the ground and turned around. His spear was aimed at Tai Zhongyan's head. Meet me head on. Come. Tai Zhongyan raised the black iron staff above his head and kicked at Night Sorrow with his right leg. Night Sorrow did not pay attention to Tai Zhongyan's kick. He poured the energy of the myriad Dao Tome into his right arm and increased the strength of his kick. He did not believe that Tai Zhongyan could withstand it. Bang! With a muffled sound, Tai Zhongyan retracted his leg. He could not withstand Night Sorrow's one-armed spear attack even if he was standing on 2 legs, let alone standing on 1 leg. He was forced to kneel on the ground. Pressing the black iron staff against Tai Zhongyan's chest, Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear extended and retracted as he took a few steps back. Chapter 213. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Kill as many as you come. You sure talk big. I'm Tai Fei from Nanyang City. Let's see how strong you are. A youth from Nanyang City's Tai family walked towards the stage. Seeing this person, Lan Yu's expression changed. What's wrong? Enlightenment, who had finished bandaging her wounds, asked. 3 months ago, I met him while doing a sect mission. I lost and used my movement technique to escape. He's very strong. Lan Yu said with worry in her eyes. She knew that Night Sorrow came out early to take the thunder for her. As a disciple of the Medicine Valley's origin ranking, Lan Yu was very clear that at this stage of the essence gathering stage, the lower-ranked disciples should be the vanguard. Night Sorrow didn't need to come out so early. Night Sorrow didn't want any disciples of the Medicine Valley to die. Tai Fei's arms shook, and 2-foot-long sharp claws appeared on each of his hands, emitting a cold light. Night Sorrow waved his left hand and put on the azure claw gloves. Looking at the weapons, Night Sorrow knew that Tai Fei was suitable for close combat. You want close combat? Sure, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Night Sorrow stabbed the reincarnation spear into the ground, then crossed his arms and waved them behind him. His body began to emit energy. 13th uncle, what are you doing? Aren't you using your short hand to attack his long hand? Nangong Dai said anxiously. The opponent is a close combat cultivator. If we fight with a long spear, we won't be able to determine the winner in a short time and will consume a lot of energy. At this time, any consumption of energy is disadvantageous. Your 13th uncle is very clear. Nan Nan said to his disciple, Nangong Dai. At this moment, the battle on the stage had already begun. Night Sorrow and Tai Fei were fighting each other. Night Sorrow didn't probe. He had the same thoughts as Nan Nan, which was to end the battle as soon as possible. Using the dragon leap steps that contained the cloud movement techniques concept, Night Sorrow executed the breaking kill fist and bombarded Tai Fei. Seeing Night Sorrow's strong attack, Tai Fei retreated and at the same time, his right claw blasted towards Night Sorrow. Seeing Tai Fei attack, Night Sorrow's left hand, which was wearing the cerulean claw glove, met Tai Fei's right claw and struck out. Bang! With a muffled sound, their arms collided. After that, Tai Fei's expression changed drastically and he couldn't help but retreat. This was because his true energy was scattered by Night Sorrow's violent power. Next, Night Sorrow's true energy was like a wave that slammed into his arm, injuring his tendons and bones. This was the power of Lushan Venerable's famous consummate skill. After injuring Tai Fei with a punch, Night Sorrow spun around and sent a kick towards Tai Fei. Tai Fei leaned back, his left claw aimed at Night Sorrow's right leg. In the air, Night Sorrow's right leg swayed, dodging Tai Fei's left claw and continuing to smash towards Tai Fei's head. Tai Fei's legs shook, and his body retreated rapidly. Xingji. Everything else /2 steel square root, addition I. After a loud explosion, the arena was filled with rubble. Yi Shang, who had missed his kick, quickly rushed forward and threw a punch at Tai Fei with his left hand, which was wearing the azure claw glove. Tai Fei, who was staggering, dodged Night Sorrow's left fist and stabbed his left claw towards Night Sorrow's chest. He was going to fight Night Sorrow to the death. At this moment, Night Sorrow's left hand hooked back, grabbing Tai Fei's left claw and twisting it. Gotcha sounds rang out, giving people a horrifying feeling. That was the sound of bones breaking. At this moment, Tai Fei's right claw was stabbing towards Night Sorrow's chest. The two were too close. If Night Sorrow didn't let go of Tai Fei's left hand, he would definitely be injured. If he let go, Tai Fei would still have a chance. Of course, the chance was very slim. In this urgent situation, Night Sorrow leaned to the side and pulled Tai Fei's left arm. Then, he punched Tai Fei's throat with his right hand. Tai Fei was killed with one punch. However, Night Sorrow didn't manage to escape unscathed. Tai Fei's sharp claw left a few bloody wounds on his left shoulder. Fresh blood dyed his white robe red. He retreated a few steps and looked at Tai Fei, whose body had gone limp. The fourth one. Tai Fei, who had been punched in the throat by Night Sorrow, obviously had no chance of surviving. Night Sorrow didn't look at his injured shoulder. He had already used the energy of the myriad Tao Tome to stop the blood from flowing out. It was just an external injury. Night Sorrow was willing to use an external injury that didn't affect his fighting strength in exchange for a small consumption. Returning to the reincarnation spear, Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and drank 2 mouthfuls. He then threw it to the side and said, "Next. 13th uncle, I'll wait for you to come back and drink." Someone didn't let the jar of wine fall to the ground. Feng Yan's body flashed and caught the jar of wine. He didn't care about the wound on his waist and shouted at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow turned around and looked at Feng Yen. He nodded and grabbed the reincarnation spear again. "Oh Chang, I'm here to challenge you." Another young man from the 8-Mile Castle's O clan stepped forward. "Make your move." Seeing this young man holding a 4-chi-long battle blade, Night Sorrow knew that this was a ferocious opponent. Night Sorrow grabbed the reincarnation spear with his right hand and rushed towards O Chang. After going through 4 battles, Night Sorrow's fighting spirit was boiling. He had a thirst for battle. O Chang waved his battle blade and slashed towards Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. He wanted to meet Night Sorrow head-on. However, Night Sorrow's arms had a strength of close to 20,000 jin. How could O Chang withstand it? The two exchanged 5 moves and O Chang's head was smashed by Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. However, the violent vibration caused Night Sorrow's shoulder to bleed again. O Chang originally thought that Night Sorrow's battle prowess would be reduced because he was injured. However, after clashing with him a few times, he knew that this was a mistake. The price he had to pay for this mistake was his life. 13th Uncle's battle prowess is on a completely different level compared to when he was in the sect tournament, Enlightenment said with a smile. Yes. At that time, he was only in the middle stage of element gathering tier. Now, he's in the 9th level of element gathering tier. They're on a completely different level. Let them continue to die. Lan Yu said hatefully. Father, how is he so strong? Nanxing from the Southern Dipper sect couldn't believe his eyes. In just a few rounds, a cultivator in the 9th level of element gathering tier was killed by Night Sorrow. This was the 5th person. All 5 opponents ended their battles in an extremely short amount of time. The Medicine Valley really has a talent. In a fair battle, he's invincible within the same level, Nanjin Yuan said. Indeed. In a fair battle, he's invincible within element gathering tier. If it weren't for the later battles, he would have won without any losses, Xiao Qingfeng from the Xiao Yao sect said. Haha. You're qualified to be my opponent. I'm Zhan Xie from the Golden Flame sect. A young man in a black robe walked out from the Golden Flame sect. Shameless. He's fought 5 battles in a row and you're saying this. The disciples of the Medicine Valley all started cursing. It was better if Zhan Xie didn't speak, but once he did, it was too unpleasant. Zhan Xie. I killed an unknown disciple from the Golden Flame sect a while ago. I think his name was Zhanpeng. Do you know him? Night Sorrow asked Zhan Xie. You want to die? Today, I'll take revenge for my clan's younger brother. Zhan Xie was enraged after hearing Night Sorrow's words. Chapter 2:14. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Zhan Xie walked onto the stage and stared at Night Sorrow with his golden eyes. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Zhan Xie wasn't holding a weapon. He raised both his hands and looked at them. These hands of mine have killed many demonic beasts and many cultivators. You will soon be one of them. You should feel honored to be killed by the Golden Flame hands. After speaking, Zhan Xie clenched his fists and golden energy appeared on his fists. The Golden Flame School's ultimate technique, the Golden Flame hands that can shatter gold and shatter stone. Yang Lei stood up. The Golden Flame hands was too famous. It was even more famous than the Medicine Valley's Wind Lightning Sword technique. It was the ultimate technique of the founder of the Golden Flame School. Yang Lei wasn't the only one who stood up. The people of Taishan Peak also stood up nervously. The second-generation disciples all knew about the Golden Flame hands. The third-generation disciples who didn't know about it also heard Yang Lei's explanation. Master, should we let 13 come down? Aoi asked Yu Yang Yu in a low voice. It's not appropriate. Besides, 13 won't come down. Yu Yangyu said in a low voice. His heart was also filled with worry. Knight Sorrow glanced at Jean Xie's golden hands and put down his reincarnation spear. Then I'll experience your so-called golden flame hands. Putting down his reincarnation spear, Knight Sorrow drew a semicircle with his arms and crossed them in front of his abdomen. Jean Xie charged forward and punched towards Knight Sorrow's chest. Knight Sorrow took a step forward and punched out. Knight Sorrow's fist was infused with the 6th level of the tendon-strengthening realm's energy from the Myriad Dao's treasured tome. At the same time, he used the breaking killing fist. Bang! With a muffled sound, the two separated. Knight Sorrow retreated 3 steps and his right fist started to bleed. Jean Xie's situation wasn't any better. He retreated even more than Knight Sorrow. His right fist was also dripping with blood. Both of them had suffered light injuries from this clash. Everyone on the Golden Flame sect side was shocked. If Knight Sorrow's cultivation was at the core condensation stage or higher, then it would be normal for him to take on the Golden Flame hand. Now, Knight Sorrow's cultivation was the same as Jean Xie's. Not only had he blocked the Golden Flame hand, but he had also forced Jean Xie back, causing Jean Xie's fist to bleed. This overturned their common sense. With a low roar, Knight Sorrow charged towards Jean Xie. His left fist punched towards Jean Xie's chest. I don't believe you can take a few punches. Jean Xie's left hand punched towards Knight Sorrow again. With a muffled sound, Jean Xie was knocked back by Knight Sorrow's punch. His fist was bleeding again, but Knight Sorrow's situation was slightly better. He was wearing the Azure Claw glove on his left hand. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs.com. I also want to know how many punches you can take. Knight Sorrow roared. He returned the same words to Jean Xie. He closed in and punched Jean Xie again. Jean Xie also punched out to block. His strongest move was the Golden Flame hand. If the Golden Flame hand couldn't force Knight Sorrow back, then he would only lose. Knight Sorrow used the Dragon Leap steps. Both of his fists continuously attacked Jean Xie. Jean Xie kept retreating, but Knight Sorrow kept suppressing him. In the beginning, he could force Jean Xie back a few steps with a punch, but the distance between them kept increasing. By Knight Sorrow's 7th punch, Jean Xie had already retreated a dozen steps. I go shao say w. Chu a dozen steps was nothing in front of Knight Sorrow's Dragon Leap steps. After catching up, Knight Sorrow once again threw out a fierce punch. This time, Jean Xie clasped his hands together and blocked Knight Sorrow's fierce punch. However, the golden light on his hands had already dimmed to the point where it was almost invisible. Furthermore, he was forced back 7 or 8 steps. He lost his footing and fell to the ground. Both of their fists were bleeding. Their bones could already be seen. Ignoring the bleeding, Knight Sorrow rushed forward. He arrived in front of Jean Xie and raised his left hand to slap down on Jean Xie's head. Yes, this was a slap. It wasn't a fist, it was a palm. It was a palm with an energy vortex. The energy vortex was about a foot in diameter. Inside the vortex was red energy. Knight Sorrow wasn't using the killing fist, but the Zhenyu hand. Version caret, Jean Xie didn't know that Knight Sorrow had changed his move. He still clasped his hands together and attacked upwards. Bang! Knight Sorrow's palm landed solidly on Jean Xie's fists. With a muffled sound, flesh and blood flew everywhere. All 10 of Jean Xie's fingers were blown away by the energy. All that was left were white bones. His palm was effective. Then, Knight Sorrow kicked Jean Xie's chest, who was sitting on the ground. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Jean Xia was kicked 3 to 4 feet away. Night Sorrow quickly caught up with Jean Xia. His right hand, which revealed white bones, landed on Jean Xia's head. Your Golden Flame sect has the Golden Flame hand, but my Medicine Valley has the Heaven Covering hand. You can die in peace now, Night Sorrow said coldly. Stop. Seeing that Night Sorrow was about to kill, Zhang Tianyi spoke up. Just as Zhang Tianyi spoke, Su Huan Tian moved. His left hand circled the stage and his right hand pressed down on Night Sorrow. When Su Huan Tian made his move, Night Sorrow couldn't move. His body was suppressed by energy. It could also be said that he was imprisoned. This was the power of the unity of man and nature. When Su Huan Tian made his move, Hua Yunping also moved. His body flashed to the edge of the stage and his left hand hit the stage. Then, he grabbed the air in the direction of Danding Cliff. His right hand hit Su Huan Tian's palm. When Hua Yunping made his move, Night Sorrow could move. Although it was difficult, he could still move. He grabbed Jean Xia with his right hand and his body landed on the Medicine Valley side in a few jumps. When Night Sorrow left, Hua Yunping and Su Huan Tian met. Their palms collided in the air. The energy exploded and the gravel on the stage flew. After the palm, Hua Yunping's body was pushed back. He was pushed back to his original position. The ground in front of him was shattered by his steps. You're only Suso. What right do you have to challenge the Golden Flame sect? Su Huan Tian shouted coldly. He indeed had a great advantage. He only took 2 steps back. Is that so? But the Medicine Valleys will is better to die than to live in dishonor. If you want to fight, then let's fight today. As soon as Hua Yunping's voice fell, his left hand, which had been grabbing the air in the direction of Danding Cliff, reacted. A white stripe flew from the direction of Danding Cliff and danced around Hua Yunping. Then, Hua Yunping hit the direction of the Golden Flame sect. Seeing Hua Yunping make his move, Su Huan Tian's expression changed. He immediately attacked again. If he didn't attack, the Golden Flame sect would suffer a great loss. After another muffled sound, Su Huan Tian was pushed far away. The sleeve of his right hand was shattered. The originally neat seats of the Golden Flame sect were now in a mess. Some disciples with weaker cultivation had blood on the corners of their mouths. This was caused by the sputtering energy. You want to be a tyrant in the Medicine Valley? You're not qualified. Hua Yunping said coldly as he pushed Su Huan Tian back. You should know that the Golden Flame sect is not a venerable. Doing this will not benefit you. Hand him and the people in his hands over. Otherwise, you'll regret it. Su Huan Tian looked at Night Sorrow and Jean Xia, who was being held by Night Sorrow. Chapter 215. A genius remembers love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Little bastard, you're courting death. Damn you. Seeing that Night Sorrow had killed Jean Xia, Su Huantian and Zhang Tianyi were both enraged. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs. Com they could afford to lose the other disciples, but Jean Xia couldn't. Jean Xia was one of the 2 most outstanding disciples of this generation, and would have great achievements in the future. Otherwise, Su Huantian wouldn't have stopped the battle. You guys said that you won't stop until one of us dies. I'm just following your rules. Night Sorrow released Jean Xia's corpse and said, You're dead. Zhang Tianyi looked at Yishang with cold eyes. He couldn't wait to kill Yishang. Jean Xia was his nephew. Hua Yunping, is the Medicine Valley really going to break off relations with the Golden Flame sect? Su Huantian asked Hua Yunping. We've never said that before. Some time ago, our Medicine Valley told the elders of Golden Flame sect that we're affiliated with Golden Flame sect. We admit it, but we don't allow Golden Flame sect to interfere in the Medicine Valley. Hua Yunping looked at Night Sorrow with satisfaction, then turned his head to look at the illusory sky. It's good that you admit it. Su Huantian pondered for a moment, but didn't say anything else. He couldn't defeat Hua Yunping today, so there was no point in saying anything else. In addition, the rules of handing over resources should be revised. The Medicine Valley is willing to follow the previous rules, but since Golden Flame sect went too far, we are not pushovers either. Hua Yunping sat back in the main seat and said. What do you mean? Su Huantian's eyes twitched. The Qingshui sect is an affiliated force of the Medicine Valley. The resources are handed over to the Medicine Valley. Why did the Jinyan sect accept them? Therefore, the resources that the Medicine Valley gives to the Golden Flame sect will still be calculated according to the competition. If the Medicine Valley can't enter the top 10, we will give you 30%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 10, we will give you 20%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 5, we will give you 10%. If the Medicine Valley enters the top 3, the resources will have nothing to do with the Golden Flame sect, Hua Yunping said. You guys are pushing your luck. Heaven Spreading Wings coldly snorted. Then what can you do if we don't hand it over? Yu Yang Yu stood up. If you guys want to fight, then prepare to receive my attack. Spreading Tianyi pointed at Yu Yang Yu and roared. His nephew's death made him furious. Sky Wings, don't be impatient. Medicine Valley has a venerable one, so of course, we have the capital to renegotiate. Let's do it this way. Hua Yunping, I hope the disciples of the Medicine Valley will do well. Let's go. Su Huantian turned around and shouted at the Golden Flame sect. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect left. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear and went to the center of the arena again because no one announced the end of the challenge. Alright, the celebration ceremony and the competition is an opportunity to learn from each other. Sect leader Lu can let the disciples go back. Nan Jinyuan stood up and said. What do you guys think? What do you think, Elder Xiao? Yu Yang Yu cupped his hands at Nan Jinyuan and then looked at Xiao Qingfeng. The Southern Dipper sect and the Medicine Valley had already formed an alliance. Nan Jinyuan, of course, stood on the side of the Medicine Valley. He didn't want Night Sorrow to die, but he also didn't want such a talent to fall. I don't have any objections. It's enough. Even if there are more energy-gathering realm cultivators on the arena, they won't be a match for this little guy. Xiao Qingfeng said with a smile. He also admired Night Sorrow very much. Many people agreed with this point. When Su Huantian asked Hua Yunping to hand over Night Sorrow and Zhan Xia, he didn't necessarily want to kill Night Sorrow. Instead, he wanted to take Night Sorrow away. A talent like Night Sorrow should either be roped in or destroyed. Of course, roping in Night Sorrow had to be done first. Yu Yang Yu looked at Night Sorrow, whose right hand was still dripping with blood, and said, 13, go down. Night Sorrow held the reincarnation spear in his right hand and cupped his hands in the direction of the Southern Dipper sect and the Freedom sect. Then, he walked towards the seats of the Medicine Valley. What welcomed Night Sorrow was cheering. The disciples of the Medicine Valley shouted crazily. 6 kills in a single match. Those who were killed were the best among those of the same level. This was the pride of the Medicine Valley. The shouts rose and fell one after another, becoming more and more intense. Night Sorrow walked to the front of the seats of the Medicine Valley. He cupped his hands with his spear and said, this disciple has not failed his mission. I'm back. Good. Yu Yang Yu spat out a word. There were too many feelings in his heart that he couldn't say out loud, so he only said one word. The great elder took out a bottle of medicinal pills and threw it to Aoi. Quickly bandage Night Sorrow's wounds. Don't leave any hidden dangers. After returning to his seat and sitting down, many people gathered around Night Sorrow. The top 10 disciples of the Yuan ranking had all come. Aoi helped Night Sorrow take off the azure claw gloves that were stained with blood and flesh. There was blood and flesh of his opponents on it, as well as Night Sorrow's own. After cleaning the wounds, Aoi applied the muscle revitalizing ointment on Night Sorrow's wounds. Then, she used a medicinal cloth to bandage Night Sorrow's hands, making them look like bare paws. Next, she treated the wounds on his shoulders that were caused by Tai Fei's sharp claws. Looking at Night Sorrow's wounds that were so deep that his bones could be seen, Yang Lei was a little choked up. These damn people. They were so ruthless. Martial Ant Yang, they were all killed by Martial Ant 13, Chen Yun said with a smile. Killing them doesn't relieve my anger, Yang Lei said hatefully. Martial Ant 13, you said that you would come back to drink with me. I brought the wine, Feng Yan said as he held the wine jar that Night Sorrow had thrown down. Then why aren't you pouring wine? My wounds are the same. Can I still pour wine? Night Sorrow raised his hands that were wrapped in a thick medicinal cloth and said. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'll pour wine right away, Feng Yan smiled as he took out the wine bowl. He pulled the wound on his waist, causing him to grimace in pain. Then, Lan Yu picked up the wine jar and poured wine for Feng Yan, Night Sorrow, and the others. Thank you, Martial Ant 13. Don't say that. Didn't I come back alive? Night Sorrow smiled and drank the wine in one gulp. First release of W, 6 kills in a match. Other than Martial Ant 13, no one else can do this. Let's drink. Enlightenment held out the wine bowl to Lan Yu. While they were chatting, the celebration ended. The people of Golden Flame's sect had left, so the core condensation and spirit-severing stage battles were meaningless. To Medicine Valley, the celebration this time was very successful. Night Sorrow was domineering in the arena. He consecutively killed the Origin Gathering stage cultivators of Golden Flame's sect, bringing glory to Medicine Valley. Hua Yunpeng was the same. He didn't fall behind when he fought against the veteran honorable stage cultivators. Hua Yunpeng, Yu Yangyu, and the First Elder all went to Night Sorrow's side. Are you alright, 13? Yu Yangyu asked. My injuries are fine. It's a pity that I have to wear this robe, Night Sorrow said as he looked at his top-grade silk robe with a little heartache. Night Sorrow's words made many people turn their heads. They didn't know how to describe Night Sorrow. Yu Yangyu couldn't continue his words. 13, you have to work hard. We still need you in the upcoming resource battle. That guy called Su Yuan is the most outstanding disciple of Golden Flame's sect. He's the grandson of Golden Flame's sect's leader, the First Elder said. Night Sorrow nodded. He then looked towards Danding Peak seats and realized that Sikong Chuyu had already left. After bidding farewell to Hua Yunping, Yu Yangyu, and the First Elder, Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the disciples on the Yuan ranking and left on the Tianyu. Not far from the Taishan Hall, Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chuyu. After letting the Tianyu land, Night Sorrow went to Sikong Chuyu. Chapter 2:16. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. It doesn't hurt, Chiyu, don't cry. Night Sorrow lifted his hands that were wrapped in gauze and helped Sikong Chuyu wipe her tears. You don't know how to care for yourself at all. Sikong Chuyu said as she wiped the tears on her cheeks. Looking at the weeping Sikong Chuyu, Night Sorrow stretched out his arms and hugged Sikong Chuyu. I will be more careful in the future. Sikong Chuyu struggled for a moment before she stopped moving and leaned on Night Sorrow. The two didn't move for a long time before separating. Sikong Chuyu's face was flushed red. I'm sorry, I was a little impulsive just now. Night Sorrow lowered his head, worried that Sikong Chuyu would get angry. Okay, let's go back. How about we walk back? Sikong Chuyu looked at the somewhat reserved Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow nodded and walked side by side with Sikong Chuyu towards the bamboo forest peak. After returning to the bamboo forest peak, Sikong Chuyu fetched some clean water and helped Night Sorrow clean up. He also helped Night Sorrow change into a clean robe and helped Night Sorrow put on the jade pendant again. After helping Night Sorrow clean up, the two went to the courtyard in front of the bamboo house to make tea. Night Sorrow, you can't not cherish yourself. They are all crockery while you are jade. Sikong Chuyu poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow and said. Square root head hair %+, I will be more careful in the future. In fact, I am also a rotten crockery. Night Sorrow said with a smile. What are you talking about? If something happens to you, then what's the point of me coming to the eastern Xian region? Sikong Chuyu slammed the teacup on the table. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu in surprise. At this moment, he understood Sikong Chuyu's intentions. After he finished speaking, Sikong Chuyu turned around. Firstly, he was angry with Night Sorrow's words. Secondly, he was embarrassed that he had said something that he shouldn't have. In the evening, Aoi came over. You two seem to be having a good time. 13, are you okay? Don't worry, I'll be fine in 2 or 3 days, Night Sorrow said. It's like this. Nans Henyuan and Nanxing from the Nandis sect came to Taishan Peak to visit you. Eldest senior brother asked me to come and see if it's convenient for you, Aoi said. Since they are here, it would be impolite not to see them. Chuyu, wait for me here. It's been chaotic these 2 days. It won't be good if people see you, Night Sorrow said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu smiled and nodded. She understood that it wasn't that Night Sorrow didn't want to take her with him. He was worried about her safety and treasured her very much. Sikong, don't worry. I'll return you a complete 13 later. Aoi smiled and nodded at Sikong Chuyu. Sitting on Aoi's azure eagle, Night Sorrow arrived at the side hall next to the Taishan main hall. The main hall was the place to deal with the matters of the peak. It was very formal and formal. The side hall was much more casual. Usually, the elders would come here to drink tea and chat. It was also the place to receive guests. After entering the side hall, Night Sorrow saw Gong Xian, Wu Qi, and Yang Lei talking with Nans Henyuan, Nanxing, and 2 other members of the Nandis sect. 13, let me introduce you. This is the Nans Henyuan Hall Master of the Nandis sect 7 Stars Hall. This is young Master Nanxing. Gong Xian stood up and introduced them to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow greets Hall Master Nanxing and young Master Nanxing. Night Sorrow bowed to Nans Henyuan and then cupped his fists to Nanxing. No need to be so polite. How are your injuries? Nans Henyuan asked with a smile. It's just a minor injury. Thank you for your concern, Hall Master Nanxing. Night Sorrow nodded. I'm Nanxing. I admire you very much. I originally wanted to spar with you, but I feel like I'm too weak. I'll go back and practice first. Nanxing cupped his fists to Night Sorrow. Young Master Nanxing is too humble. Night Sorrow shook his head. Let's sit down and chat. Yang Lei pointed to the seat beside her to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down. There are venerables and talents. It's only a matter of time before the Medicine Valley rises. Nans Henyuan smiled. It's just that the Golden Flame sect is too aggressive. Our Medicine Valley has always stood aloof from worldly affairs, but things don't go as we wish. Gong Xian said. Indeed. The Golden Flame sect is too arrogant. Their disciples are even worse. Some time ago, they provoked my niece. This matter isn't over yet. My father is very angry, and so are the elders of my family. Nans Henyuan said. Gong Xian could understand. The disciples of the Golden Flame sect were indeed arrogant. They even dared to provoke the young master of the Nanda sect. Their courage was not ordinary. After that, everyone ate together. Night Sorrow's bare paws were inconvenient, so Yang Lei took care of her. Night Sorrow, if you have time, come to our Nanda sect. I'll show you around, Nanxing said. Nanxing said. He had a good impression of Yishang, mainly because Yishang was strong, but he was very easygoing. Okay, I'll definitely go when I have time. Night Sorrow nodded. At that time, there will be many people who want to spar with you. My cousins all like to spar with each other. Just don't provoke my cousin. Our generation is no match for her. She also likes to torture people, Nanxing said with a smile. Is it the genius of the Nanda sect, Nan Liyue? Yang Lei asked. Liyue is indeed the most outstanding disciple of the Nanda sect in the past few hundred years. My father and the elders of my family all dote on her. Otherwise, they wouldn't have declared war on the Golden Flame sect. Nan Jinyuan smiled. No wonder. The Golden Flame sect is indeed blind, Yang Lei said with a smile. After eating, Nan Jinyuan, Nan Xing, and the others left. Ninth senior sister, is Nan Liyue very powerful? Night Sorrow asked. Not very powerful, but very powerful. She entered the essence gathering realm at 12 and the core condensation realm at 14. What do you think? Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. She is indeed powerful. Night Sorrow nodded. Not only does she cultivate fast, but her combat strength is also very strong. It's said that she has the Nanli fire body. She can cultivate the Nanli fire chi refining technique with half the effort. She also successfully cultivated the Nanli fire sword technique, which is the consummate skill of the Nanda sect. Yang Lei explained Nan Liyue's achievements to Night Sorrow. She's Nanxing's cousin. She can't be that old. It's really amazing that she can reach this level. Night Sorrow nodded. Don't just look at other people's strengths. Are you weak? Today's 6-kill battle will soon spread. Your fame is not less than hers. It's just that you cultivated for a shorter time than her. Yang Lei said. I will cultivate hard and enter the core condensation realm as soon as possible. Night Sorrow said. Nan Liyue's achievements didn't hurt Night Sorrow. Instead, it aroused his fighting spirit. In the Danding Peak Hall, Hua Yunping, Yu Yangyu, and the elders were discussing the future development of the Medicine Valley. Then, an elder suggested how to arrange Yi Shan's reward. Chapter 217. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. This little guy can't be overdone. Thanks to him, it would have been difficult for the others to win a single match, let alone a combo. Especially Zhan Xia. Love go little say, Chu, Hua Yunping said. That's right. If not for Night Sorrow, the Golden Flame sect, the Fire Tiger sect, the O family, and the Green Water sect would have continuously sent their disciples to the arena. The number of disciples on the Yuan roll would have been endless, Qian Wu said with a nod. The Medicine Valley can't be stingy with him since he was willing to risk his life for the sect. When he took back the Holy Cauldron scripture, I said that the sect would give him whatever he needed. However, there has to be substantial arrangements, the great elder said with a nod. He's not the kind of disciple who would make requests for himself. He would make requests for his senior brothers and sisters. How about this? He's the Valley Master's disciple. It's not convenient for the Valley Master to deal with such matters. Great Elder, arrange for the Merit Hall to make a set of claw gloves with the best materials, Hua Yunping said, and made arrangements. Valley Master, you've accepted a good disciple. If you hadn't gone to the disciple recruitment ceremony last year, this disciple might have been mine, Yan Beibei said as he glanced at Yu Yangyu. That's possible. Love go little say, Chu, Yu Yangyu said with a smile. He knew that a disciple like Night Sorrow wouldn't be missed based on his cultivation level and temperament. Grand Elder, we Crepe Myrtle are all women and lack masculinity. Why don't we send Night Sorrow to Crepe Myrtle? Yi Xiling asked. The Great Elder glanced at Yi Xiling and smiled. Xiling, the Valley Master brought him to Danding Peak. He would rather waste time coming here to pay his respects than leave Danding Peak. Do you think he can go there? Only, one genuine R%, all the other R% are square root J, that's right. Your disciple almost crippled him. He even called him a hooligan. If he kicks him again, he'll be done for, Duanlei of Cloud Sea Peak said. Duanlei, are you trying to undermine me? Jingyi knows that she's wrong. Jingyi is an outstanding female disciple in our Medicine Valley. It's normal for her to be a little bit of a temper. Besides, if she didn't feel anything, she wouldn't be so angry, Yi Xiling said. Let's not talk about this. Everyone turned their heads to look, but they didn't see Su Qinbai. Valley Master, how do you plan to deal with this? Hua Yunyang looked at Yu Yangyu. There's no point in keeping him here. Duanlei, North Pole, you two go and bring him back. If he resists, kill him on the spot, Yu Yangyu ordered. After receiving the order, Duanlei and Yan Beibei left the hall to look for Su Qinbai. Did he run away? I haven't even seen that kid Su Mu in a long time, Lu Qinyun said. No one uttered a sound. They all felt that this was a possibility. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs.com let Duanlei and Bei Feng handle this matter. Also, make sure the Southern Dipper sect and the Free and Unfettered sect receive them well. We're separated by the Golden Flame sect, so we won't be enemies. An enemy's enemy is a friend, Yu Yangyu said. When Night Sorrow returned to the bamboo forest peak, the sky was already filled with stars. Under the starlight, Sikong Chuyu stood next to the bamboo in front of the house, wearing a white dress. Chuyu, why are you out here? It's so windy at night. Seeing Sikong Chuyu, Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward and struggled to take off his outer robe and put it on Sikong Chuyu. I just wanted to wait for you to come back. Sikong Chuyu smiled and looked at Night Sorrow. Don't be so silly. I'm not a child. You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Night Sorrow wiped off Sikong Chuyu's hair and held Sikong Chuyu's hand with a bandaged hand as they returned to the bamboo house. I used to think that waiting was a painful thing, but when I really experienced it, I realized that it wasn't. Waiting is actually a very steady and real feeling, Sikong Chuyu said. Night Sorrow stretched out his hands across the table and held Sikong Chuyu's hand. No matter what, you have to take care of yourself. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to cultivate. Being held by Night Sorrow, Sikong Chuyu was a little embarrassed. When Sikong Chuyu went to cultivate, Night Sorrow didn't stay idle either. He also returned to his room to cultivate. Now that Night Sorrow cultivated, he completely gave up on the soul-gathering pill and only ate the leopard muscle-strengthening pill. Night Sorrow's true chi cultivation was stable and solid. He wanted to prepare for entering the core condensation stage. But he didn't need the Myriad Tao Treasured Book. Now his Myriad Tao Treasured Book was officially developing rapidly. When cultivating, the myriad Tao treasured book's energy flowed to his hands. Night Sorrow felt pain at first, and then it became a smooth and comfortable feeling. This was a sign that the tendons in his hands weren't damaged. When the human body was injured, flesh wounds were superficial. If the tendons and bones were damaged, it would be troublesome. Night Sorrow's tendons had already been strengthened. So when he clashed with Jean Xia, although his flesh was badly mangled and his bones were exposed, his tendons and bones weren't damaged. Time passed very quickly as he cultivated. The night passed very quickly. Night Sorrow couldn't practice his fist or spear, so he cultivated his movement technique and then sat in the courtyard to rest. Come and wipe your face. Sikong Chiyu finished washing up and came over with a basin and a towel. No need. I should be able to take off the medicine in the afternoon. Night Sorrow saw Sikong Chiyu come over with a towel and quickly took 2 steps back. Why are you running? Sikong Chiyu looked at the nervous Night Sorrow and said with a smile. There's really no need. Night Sorrow shook his head and said. Then let me ask you something. If my hands were injured, wouldn't you care about me? Wouldn't you care if I washed my face or combed my hair? Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I won't let you get hurt. I will stand in front of you, Night Sorrow said. That's right. If you can stand in front of me, then what's wrong with me taking care of you? Sikong Chiyu walked to Night Sorrow's side and pressed Night Sorrow into a chair. Then, he took a towel and wiped Night Sorrow's face. Then, he combed Night Sorrow's hair and tied it into a bun. Thank you, Chiyu. I haven't done this before. Night Sorrow's hair used to be tied with a thin string at the back of his head and had never been combed. Very spirited. Not bad. Sikong Chiyu circled Night Sorrow and said. All right. If you say I'm not bad, then I'm not bad. Night Sorrow nodded. While the two were talking, the servants arrived. There were also 2 third-generation female disciples. 13th Martial Uncle, 9th Martial Aunt said you were injured and asked us to serve you, the 2 third-generation disciples said. At the same time, their eyes were looking at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was their idol. After joining the sect for a little over a year, he became the newcomer king and first on the Yuan leaderboard. Both were incredible achievements. Yesterday, he had domineeringly killed 6 people in a row in the arena. Now that they had a chance to get close to him, they naturally wanted to take a look. Chapter 2:18. Geniuses remember love in 1 second go. We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's really no need. You should focus on cultivation. Go back. Night Sorrow waved his bandaged hand. The 2 female disciples were unwilling, but they still went back. Yang Lei's words were in order, and so was Night Sorrow's. Not bad. You won't move in front of a beauty, Sikong Chiyu said with a smile. Chiyu, you're attacking me again. Am I not moving in front of you? Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chiyu and said. Sikong Chiyu looked at Night Sorrow and didn't say anything. In the afternoon, Sikong Chiyu changed Night Sorrow's bandages. He saw that Night Sorrow's hands had scabbed over, and the scabs were about to fall off. Sikong Chiyu was shocked. In less than 2 days, he had recovered to this extent. It was really amazing. However, Sikong Chiyu still insisted that he bandaged Night Sorrow again after applying the medicine. Night Sorrow didn't object and did as Sikong Chiyu said. In the evening, Yu Yangyu and the Great Elder came to Night Sorrow's residence. How do you feel? Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I'm almost healed. Chiyu thinks that I still need to bandage for a day, Night Sorrow said. Yu Yangyu nodded and told Night Sorrow to be careful. Su Chenbai had disappeared. They didn't know if he had left or if he had gone into hiding. After leaving 2 bottles of medicine for Night Sorrow, the Great Elder and Yu Yangyu left. At the same time, they told Night Sorrow to go to the Merit Hall to get any elixirs he needed. They didn't tell Night Sorrow that Hua Yunpeng had also arrived at Taishan Peak. If the Golden Flame sect wanted to attack the Medicine Valley, the target would probably be Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was not only the pillar of the Medicine Valley, but also the signboard of the Medicine Valley. After the 2 left, the bamboo forest peak didn't quiet down. Lan Yu, Enlightenment, Feng Yan, Chen Yun, and Shi Yunhai all came. Some brought wine, some food. Chen Yun and Shi Yunhai carried a roasted elk. However, Sikong Chuyu had already left. She had left before they arrived. It didn't matter if Lu Yangyu, the first elder, and the others saw it, but if others saw it, it would be easy to leak it. Not bad, it's roasted well. Looking at the fragrant elk, Night Sorrow said with a smile. At the same time, he asked Feng Yan to cut off a piece of the elk with a small knife. 13th uncle, you're leaving a little behind so you can slowly destroy it. This means that the odd job disciples aren't doing very well. You need people here. Baidu search love go xiao shua www.aichux.com, Shi Yunhai said. Night Sorrow shook his head. They're all good. I like peace and quiet, so I let them go back early. You don't understand 13th uncle's realm. Of course, I don't either. 13th uncle, Martial Aunt Jing Yi asked me to apologize to you on her behalf. I'm not speaking for her. That day, she really wanted to vent her anger. Attacking your Dantian was absolutely unintentional. Lan Yu said. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. I believe that. Let's forget about the past, but her temper, women all have bad tempers, Feng Yan said as he poured the wine. Feng Yan, are you looking for trouble? If you're looking for trouble, just say it. Hearing Feng Yan's words, Lan Yu slammed the table and roared. What are you saying? How would I dare to look for trouble with senior sister Lan Yu? It's just a slip of the tongue, Feng Yan smiled apologetically. But it's strange. Martial Aunt Jing Yi usually has a good temper. Us martial sisters are always willing to ask her for help when we have cultivation problems. I really don't understand this time, Lan Yu shook her head and said. This time, I made her lose face. I also feel bad. Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. At that time, he was very angry. But after that, he calmed down. Night Sorrow's hands were not convenient, but he could hold the wine bowl with both hands. Lan Yu and the rest also cut the deer meat into small pieces for Night Sorrow to hold a small knife with both hands and eat. The few of them drank for a while before leaving. Although they didn't say anything, they were very grateful to Night Sorrow for standing up at the crucial moment and saving them from death. After everyone left, Sikong Chuyu came back from outside. Chuyu, I left some meat for you. I also have the 100 herbs wine that 6th senior sister gave me. You should eat some too, Night Sorrow said. All right. I don't like to drink. Since the meat was left by you and there's good wine, then I'll have to try it. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Sikong Chuyu was very happy. After all, Night Sorrow had always been thinking about her. When cultivating at night, Night Sorrow once again focused on strengthening his hands with the myriad Tao Tome's energy. When the sun rose, Night Sorrow came out of the room and sat in the courtyard. He used his mouth to bite open the medicine cloth and opened it. As the medicine cloth was opened, the scabs on Night Sorrow's hands all fell off. Not only did it not leave any scars, it even looked smooth and flexible. He clenched his hands hard, and his knuckles made cracking sounds. Sikong Chuyu came over with a basin of water and looked at Night Sorrow's hands. He said, "You've recovered well. Your hands are also white and tender. There are no scars. I feel that my hands are stronger than before." Night Sorrow took the basin and towel and washed up. "Could it be because you absorbed the energy from the healing medicine? Don't tell me you still want to do it." Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. "You're thinking too much. I don't have any thoughts of self-abuse. Maybe it's because I used energy to heal my hands these 2 days. I'll know after a few more days." Night Sorrow looked at the nervous Sikong Chuyu and said with a smile. After his hands recovered, Night Sorrow began to practice his fist and spear arts. Night Sorrow discovered his own weakness. The chasing wind spear art was not suitable for close combat. If he wanted to be powerful in close combat, he had to increase his speed so that his opponent would not have the chance to get close. If he moved his arms too slowly, Night Sorrow's arms would tremble and control the reincarnation spear's attack trajectory. He would change the reincarnation spear's trajectory in the shortest time possible to prevent his opponent from getting close. After cultivating for a while, when Night Sorrow was wiping his sweat and drinking water, Sikong Chuyu gave his opinion to Night Sorrow. He said that Night Sorrow did not do enough to coordinate his footwork and spear arts. He should apply the energy from his spear arts to his footwork. When he retracted his spear, he retracted his arms and pushed his body forward. His feet could move forward diagonally. When he attacked with his spear, he could use the recoil force to retreat. This way, his spear arts and footwork would be more coordinated. After listening to Sikong Chuyu's words, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear arts. Cultivating according to Sikong Chuyu's advice, he felt that the results were indeed very good. Naturally, he borrowed the force from the force exerted by the reincarnation spear and transferred the reaction force to his feet. His body movement was indeed much smoother. Original, V first carat release. Night Sorrow cultivated until night time. When Night Sorrow was still cultivating, Chen came over and said that someone wanted to see him. It was Tianji Tower's law enforcer Dong. Isn't law enforcer Dong overseeing Tianji Tower? Why would he come to Taishan Peak? Night Sorrow was somewhat puzzled. "I don't know. He said that he wants to see you." Chen shook his head. Chapter 219. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. What could have happened? Night Sorrow put away his reincarnation spear. Tianji Tower is well informed. You've accumulated quite a lot of experience during this period of time. You may get a higher level of attention. Go take a look. Sikong Chuyu said. "Okay, I'll go take a look." "Chuyu, are you not going?" Night Sorrow asked. After all, Enforcer Dong had some connections with Sikong Chuyu. "Not meeting. I came here this time because I want to be safe and steady. I don't want to meet anyone." Sikong Chuyu shook her head. She wanted to avoid all unsafe factors. "All right." Night Sorrow nodded. He also agreed with Sikong Chuyu's point of view. Enforcer Dong was reliable. After all, the fewer people who knew about it, the safer it would be. In the side hall of Taishan Peak, Gong Xian and Enforcer Dong were chatting casually. As the person in charge of Tianji Tower's Danding City, Gong Xian had to take him seriously. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Enforcer Dong nodded with a smile. Gong Xian looked at Night Sorrow. 13. Has your hand recovered? I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, senior brother. Night Sorrow nodded. All right, Enforcer Dong. You guys go ahead and chat. Gong Xian cupped his hands toward Enforcer Dong and left the side hall. The matter between Tianji Tower and Night Sorrow was an internal matter of Tianji Tower. Perhaps it was not suitable for him to know, so he left, and so did the others. Love go little say ko the only 1K version, everyone else is hashtag pirate sky, good, very good. The higher-ups know about your matter. Someone will come in a few days. They asked me to inform you. I don't know the specific situation, Enforcer Dong said. When do you need me to go to Danding City? Night Sorrow asked. I don't think he'll be here tomorrow. It won't be so soon. The day after tomorrow. Go to Danding City the day after tomorrow and find a convenient place so that I can find you anytime, Enforcer Dong said to Night Sorrow. Alright, I'll go to my 9th senior sister's mansion the day after tomorrow, which is the City Lord's mansion. If there's anything, just send someone there to inform me, Night Sorrow said. Okay, this time you have a high chance of entering the blacklist. The people you defeated that day all received the Tianji Tower's attention. Tai Fei has a red list and has a chance to enter the purple list. That Zhan Xia has a purple list. You were able to kill Zhan Xia after 5 consecutive battles. This is a reflection of your strength. Enforcer Dong said with a smile. It would be best if he could enter the black circle. Night Sorrow nodded. He was not as anxious as before because Sikong Chuyu was safe and sound by his side. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Enforcer Dong left. He was only here to deliver a message. As for Night Sorrow's matter, he couldn't make the decision. His highest authority was to raise the red list. He still needed to be investigated and reviewed by the higher-ups. After Night Sorrow sent Enforcer Dong off, he didn't see Gong Xian and the others. He directly drove Tianyu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. I just made tea. Come, Sikong Chuyu said as he poured a cup of tea for Night Sorrow when he saw Night Sorrow coming back. Thank you. Night Sorrow took a sip of the tea and told him what Enforcer Dong had told him. Someone from the higher-ups. That means you should enter the blacklist. Under normal circumstances, the higher-ups of Tianji Tower won't easily come into contact with ordinary people. The red list doesn't qualify, and the purple list doesn't have a high chance of being seen, Sikong Chuyu said. Chuyu, what level of attention did you have when you were recruited into Tianji Tower? Night Sorrow asked. Before I entered the 4th stage, I was a purple list. After entering the spirit severing stage, I was promoted to the black list and was then recruited into Tianji Tower. Sikong Chuyu didn't hide anything from Night Sorrow and directly told him about his situation. Night Sorrow nodded. I'll be going to Danding City the day after tomorrow. I won't be able to accompany you. It's okay. I'm quite comfortable here. I also need to sort out what I've learned in the past, Sikong Chuyu nodded. Night Sorrow nodded and went to cultivate. When it was almost dawn, he found that his cultivation of the myriad Tao Tome had reached a bottleneck. It was the bottleneck of level 6 muscle strengthening. After eating some food, Night Sorrow explained the situation to Sikong Chuyu and then went into seclusion to break through. He knew that the stronger he was, the more likely he would be able to obtain the approval of Tianji Tower. To enter level 7 muscle strengthening, he had to strengthen the tendons in his waist and connect the dragon tendons to his legs. Night Sorrow wasn't worried about this. He had accumulated a lot of experience from his previous breakthroughs. This kind of breakthrough was just a bit more difficult to endure. Night Sorrow controlled the dragon tendons and the energy in his legs to strengthen the tendons in his waist. Although it was very painful, Night Sorrow could endure it. After 4 hours, Night Sorrow successfully strengthened the tendons in his waist. From then on, the dragon tendons and the tendons in his legs were connected through the strengthened tendons in his waist. The strength in his legs increased by a lot. Congratulations, Sikong Chuyu said as he watched Night Sorrow walk out of his room in high spirits. Thank you. Night Sorrow nodded. His heart was warm. In the past, people had congratulated him, but it had never been as intense as this time. Why are you being so courteous with me? Sikong Chuyu asked with a smile. Yes. I really like the feeling of being able to see you by my side when I'm done cultivating. Night Sorrow looked at Sikong Chuyu. Drink some water first. In truth, I also like this kind of quiet feeling. Sikong Chuyu ran his fingers through his hair. I've always been worried that since you came from a big family, you might not be used to this place. Hearing your words, I'm relieved. Night Sorrow said. You're overthinking it. Sikong Chuyu shook his head. The two of them then walked around the bamboo forest, sat in the bamboo forest, and watched the sunset. Then, they returned to the bamboo hut to get something to eat. After eating, Night Sorrow sat in front of the bamboo hut and fell into deep thought. He wanted to be with Sikong Chuyu, but there were many difficulties. First of all, he had to obtain the approval of the Sikong clan. This was difficult to pass. After all, the Sikong clan was second to none in the Qingtian region. The marriage conditions of the clan's women were also very harsh. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow, who was deep in thought. I want to be with you. I want to know what I need to do. Night Sorrow looked up at Night Sorrow and asked very seriously. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow in shock. She didn't expect Night Sorrow to suddenly ask this question. She didn't know how to answer because Night Sorrow asked it in a very formal manner. Yes, it's a little abrupt. Night Sorrow hurriedly explained when he saw Sikong Chuyu's shock. It's not like that. I haven't thought of this problem yet. Sikong Chuyu saw Night Sorrow's eyes suddenly darken and explained. I know. I'll work hard. Night Sorrow waved his hand. Okay, let's work hard together. Sikong Chuyu reached out and held Night Sorrow's hand. Chapter 220. Genius 1 second. Remember, love go/small. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That night, Night Sorrow was very enthusiastic about training. After waking up in the morning, he went to train his improved spear art. His arms trembled to change the trajectory of his spear art. Combined with his body movement, his spear art was already suitable for close combat. After training for a while, Night Sorrow stopped and ate the dishes made by Sikong Chuyu. You feel different. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. There's nothing different. Let's eat. Eat more. You eat so little every meal. Night Sorrow said as he picked up some food for Sikong Chuyu. Do you think I'm a pig? I'm already in the 4th rank. I don't need food. What I'm doing now is just training my body and mind to prepare for my breakthrough. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. I'm stupid. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Don't say that about yourself. You're the only one other than my parents who picked up food for me. I'm very happy. Sikong Chuyu looked at his bowl and sighed. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. He continued to pick up food for Sikong Chuyu. After eating, Night Sorrow was about to leave. After all, the appointment at Tianji Tower was a big deal. He couldn't ignore it. Sikong Chuyu helped Night Sorrow tidy up his clothes. Finish your business and come back early. Night Sorrow nodded. He got on Tianyu's back and flew towards Danding City. Night Sorrow left Taishian Peak. A figure also left. #only BE Xijingji. Version HQ, NHV. He versus both are pirates sitting cross-legged on Tianyu's back. Night Sorrow began to train. He didn't want to waste time. When he was 1,000 li away from Pill Cauldron Mountain, Night Sorrow did not notice that a flying demonic beast had appeared on the side of the mountain and was chasing after him. It was a high-level golden-eyed sparrow. Its speed was extremely fast, and it quickly caught up to Tianyu and blocked his path. With a cry, Tianyu circled around and was about to attack. Night Sorrow, you better not resist. Don't force me to kill you, the middle-aged man standing on the golden-eyed sparrow said. Su Chenbai, are you really going to betray Medicine Valley? Night Sorrow restrained Tianyu and asked. Ha! I am a direct descendant of the Su family of the Golden Flame sect. I am a member of the Golden Flame sect. How can I be a traitor? Your Medicine Valley is blind, Su Chenbai said with a laugh. Then you're going to attack me. Come on. Night Sorrow waved his hand and 4 sky-piercing spears appeared in his hand. Since you're going to resist, I won't keep you alive. Su Chenbai rose into the air and left the golden-eyed sparrow. He stood in the air and slapped at Night Sorrow. I knew you would do something like this. Since you have admitted that you are from the Golden Flame sect, I won't keep you any longer. A figure appeared in front of Yishang. His left hand made a circle while his right hand sent out a palm strike. This person was none other than Medicine Valley's venerable, Hua Yunping. Bang! With a muffled sound, Su Chenbai's body was sent flying back and vomited blood. After flying for half a meter, his body seemed to be blocked by something and bounced back. You dare to leave Medicine Valley? Aren't you afraid that you'll be killed by the venerable of the Golden Flame sect without the protection of your spiritual weapon? Su Chenbai roared as he vomited blood. Su Huantian doesn't have the ability to kill me. You'll die first. Hua Yunping slapped again. An energy vortex visible to the naked eye fell directly on Su Chenbai's head, who was unable to dodge. The energy vortex blew up Su Chenbai's head and his headless body fell to the ground. Hua Yunping flicked his finger and blew up Su Chenbai's right hand. Then, he took back the storage ring. Love go little say W, Chu then, he waved his right hand and captured the huge golden-eyed sparrow. You should be safe now. I'll give you the storage ring when you return to the sect. I'll check if there's anything related to the Golden Flame sect in it, Hua Yunping said as he held the storage ring. Thank you, Grand Elder, for saving my life. I have the storage ring, Night Sorrow said as he bowed. That's all. You can go about your business. Hua Yunping said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow cupped his fists at Hua Yunping and continued flying on Tianyu. He felt lucky. If Hua Yunping hadn't followed him, it would have been very difficult for him to escape. In fact, it would have been impossible for him to escape. When he reached Danding City, Night Sorrow went directly to Yang Lei's residence. What he didn't know was that Hua Yunping had been watching Night Sorrow and only left after he entered Danding City. He was really worried about Night Sorrow's safety. Night Sorrow didn't see Yang Lei. After asking Choshu to arrange for someone to feed Tianyu, he went to Tianji Tower. When he found out that the people who were supposed to go to Tianji Tower had not arrived, he went to the city lord's residence to see Yang Lei. Yang Lei was very happy to see Night Sorrow. She told Bai Qingshan and Ao Yushan about the matter and dragged Night Sorrow to a restaurant for a drink. After listening to Night Sorrow's account of Su Chenbai's attempt to kill him, Yang Lei's face was filled with murderous intent. I didn't expect this guy to be a direct descendant of the Golden Flame sect. How shameless. But that's good. After killing him, the Golden Flame sect can only swallow their pride. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that this matter was a huge blow to the Golden Flame sect. Currently, the Medicine Valley had the Venerable One and the Southern Dipper sect as their allies. They could only endure it. After eating, Yang Lei took Night Sorrow for a stroll on the street before returning to the residence. 13. You have to be careful in the future. There are too many people who want to kill you. If you're not careful, you'll be in danger. Yang Lei was a little worried about Night Sorrow's safety. I will. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. He needed to stabilize his Jinqi cultivation at the 9th level of element gathering tier and his cultivation at the 7th level of muscle strengthening tier. The night passed. Night Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear art. Sikong Chuyu told Night Sorrow that his spear art was currently equivalent to a 3rd rank battle skill. It was infinitely close to a 4th rank battle skill. The 2nd rank wind-chasing spear art was on a completely different level from the wind-chasing spear art, which had the power of vibration. As Night Sorrow cultivated, a few disciples of Yang Lei watched from the side. They all knew about Night Sorrow's achievements. Night Sorrow, who had joined the sect only 1 year earlier than them, was like a legend in their eyes. In just 1 year, there was a huge gap between them, a gap that was impossible to catch up with. At noon, a staff member of Tianji Tower came to invite Night Sorrow. Seeing the staff member of Tianji Tower, Night Sorrow knew that the higher-ups of Tianjin Tower should have arrived. Next, he just had to see what arrangements Tianjin Tower would make. Don't be nervous. Whether you're a talent or not, you need to be evaluated by others. But you have to know that even if others don't know, it's still gold, Yang Lei said. She was worried that Night Sorrow would be nervous. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile and followed the staff member of Tianji Tower out of the residence. He was indeed not nervous. He knew that even if Tianjin Tower wasn't sure and couldn't get the black eye, he would definitely be able to enter the core condensation tier. The only difference was time. Chapter 221. Genius 1 second. Remember love go/little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Enforcer Dong opened the door, and Night Sorrow saw 2 black-robed men. One was sitting and drinking tea, while the other was standing in front of the window with his back facing him. Night Sorrow recognized that one of them was the man who sponsored him. Although both of them were wearing half-masks, Night Sorrow could distinguish their temperament and aura. The man who was spinning the teacup in his hand was someone Yishang had seen once before. As for the other person, Yishang had never seen him before. When he turned around, half of his face was covered in silver. "All right, Enforcer Dong, you may leave." The black-robed man Night Sorrow had seen before waved his hand at Enforcer Dong. Night Sorrow greets the 2 lords. After Enforcer Dong left, Night Sorrow cupped his fists at the 2 men. "I am Jiao Qing. You can call me Enforcer Jiao. This is our Eastern Profound Region's chief enforcer, Lord Yin Shui," said the black-robed man Night Sorrow had seen before. "Enforcer Jiao Qing, Lord Yin Shui." Night Sorrow cupped his fists again. "Have a seat." The silver-masked man waved his robe and sat down first, then pointed at the chair opposite him. Night Sorrow nodded and sat down. "Enforcer Jiao Qing is in charge of your matters. I have nothing to do, so I came over to take a look. Aren't you nervous at all? This meeting may decide your fate." "Love go little say W." Chuyin Shui looked at Night Sorrow again and asked. He had been watching Night Sorrow arrive from the window. From the moment he entered Tianji Tower to the moment he sat down, Night Sorrow had been too calm. "Decide my fate. It's not that serious. Even if I'm not valued by the Celestial Terminus Tower, I'll still work hard. My senior sister said that even if Goldie is acknowledged by others, he's still Goldie," said Yishan. "Well said. Jiao Qing, you didn't misjudge this time." Chief Enforcer Yin Shui clapped his hands and said. "Chief Enforcer, can we begin?" Jiao Qing looked at Yin Shui and asked. "Let's begin. This time, I came to take a look." Yin Shui nodded. "Night Sorrow, through your performance during this time, even if you haven't entered the core condensation stage, Tianji Tower, after the decision of the enforcers," Jiao Qing announced. "Thank you, enforcers of Tianji Tower." Yishang stood up and cupped his hands. Although he was not in a rush, he was still very happy to have received a positive answer. Okay, sit down. There are still some things I need to tell you. If you're standing, I have to look up at you. I'm at a disadvantage in terms of presence. Jiao Qing waved his hand at the chair. Jiao Qing wu Jiao Qing. Jiao Jiao Jiao. It's like this. If you become a black follower, you'll be qualified to join the Heaven's Terminus Tower. Are you willing? I'm very willing, but I still want to know what I need to do for Tianji Tower. Knight Sorrow hesitated for a moment and asked. Once a black guard enters the 4th stage, he can take on the role of patrol. Each patrol lasts for a year, and he must take on the role once every 5 years. His mission is to inspect the people in charge of the Celestial Terminus Tower and the enforcers to see if they are following the rules. In addition, he must pay attention to some secrets. But I haven't entered the core condensation stage yet. Knight Sorrow said with some embarrassment. Tianji Tower can wait, as long as you are willing. Jiao Qing said with a smile. Then I have no problem. Knight Sorrow nodded. Seeing Knight Sorrow nod, Jiao Qing took out a token and looked at Yin Shui. Chief Enforcer, it's better if you give him the Inspector token. It'll look better. Yin Shui took the token and handed it to Knight Sorrow. From today onwards, you are a member of the Tianji Tower's inspectors in Eastern Profound Domain. Knight Sorrow understands. Knight Sorrow got up and took the token with both hands. Black is not the end. Keep working hard. Yin Shui said. Knight Sorrow understands. Knight Sorrow nodded. Jiao Qing then took out 5 bottles of medicinal pills. These are your cultivation resources. It should be enough for you to reach the spirit severing stage. Then I won't be polite. The medicinal pills given by Chief Enforcer last time are better. Knight Sorrow directly put away the medicinal pills. He knew that Tianji Tower didn't give out rubbish. The medicinal pills were all the best. Also, let's talk about the medicinal pill you took last time. Our Tianji Tower's alchemy master analyzed it. It can be refined, but ordinary people can't absorb it. Seeing your vigorous blood essence, you should have a special method. Jiao Qing said. It's like this. Knight Sorrow didn't hide it. Be careful. The body refining technique is too important. There will be many people coveting it. Although you have the Tianji Tower's black token, some things can't be avoided. Yin Shui said. Then Jiao Qing told Knight Sorrow that Tianji Tower had informed the major forces to retreat when they saw the Tianji Tower's inspector token, but there were still people who took the risk. Thank you, Chief Enforcer. If it wasn't inconvenient for Chief Enforcer, I would like to invite Chief Enforcer for a drink. Knight Sorrow said. You mean this? Since you are a Tianji Tower's inspector, you should know the rules of keeping secrets. The mask is meaningless. Yin Shui took off his mask. Yin Shui was a middle-aged man who looked about 35 or 36 years old. His face was white and he looked delicate. When Jiao Qing took off his mask, Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He felt that Jiao Qing was familiar. What's wrong? Jiao Qing looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. He looks familiar. Does he look like someone I've met before? Knight Sorrow said. He felt that Jiao Qing and Nanjun Yuan were very similar. I don't think so. Wait, someone from the Nandis sect came to Medicine Valley a while ago. Did you meet someone from the Nandis sect? Jiao Qing asked. I've met Nanjun Yuan's hall master before, Knight Sorrow said. Ha! That's my elder brother. My real name is Nanjun Qing. We are twins, but we haven't seen each other for a long time. I don't participate in the Nandis sect's affairs, Jiao Qing said with a smile. I see. No wonder you look like someone, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow took out a jar of green blood wine and poured it into a bowl. It smells good, Nanjun Qing said as he took a sniff of the wine bowl. This is good wine brewed by my 6th senior sister. I only have one jar, and I'm contributing it now, Night Sorrow said. Then, the three of them began to drink. After downing a jar of green blood wine, no one was affected. Q head, FC, hurry up and enter tier 4. Then, we can do missions and drink together. Those guardians and inspectors can't even drink. How boring, Jiao Qing said with a smile. I'll work hard. If there's nothing else, I'll be going back, Night Sorrow nodded. Okay, your sect will definitely ask. Black Eyes is no secret to Medicine Valley, but our identities must be kept secret. This is the rule, Jiao Qing said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow understands. Night Sorrow cupped his hands. Chapter 222. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small. I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow left Tianji Tower after saluting Yin Shui and Jiao Qing. Chief Guardian, what do you think of this little guy? Jiao Qing asked as he stood by the window and watched Night Sorrow leave. Very good. He's not inferior to your niece, Nan Liyue. His weakness is that he hasn't been cultivating for long, Yin Shui said as she stretched. Chief Guardian, do you think he's comparable to my niece? Jiao Qing asked in surprise. It should be the other way around. Your niece is very talented and is stronger than Night Sorrow now because she has accumulated more in the early stage. However, as people who have been there before, we know that the key is to have enough stamina later on. Night Sorrow has the potential to become a powerhouse. He's not afraid of honor or disgrace. This is his temperament. I've seen many young people, but I've never seen anyone with a stronger temperament than him, Yin Shui said. What I'm thinking now is what kind of cultivation method this guy is cultivating to be able to cultivate himself to the point where his blood and qi are surging. I feel like there's a ferocious beast in his body, Jiao Qing said after thinking for a while. If he doesn't have a special ability, how could he get first place on the Yuan ranking board of Medicine Valley in the middle stage of element gathering? No matter how bad the disciples of Medicine Valley are, they're not sheep, Yin Shui said with a smile. His ability to fight above his level is too strong. Look at the process of his missions. He's always fighting above his level. Even the disciples of Golden Flame sect couldn't fight back. Love go little say net, Chu Jiao Qing nodded. That's why the current cultivation level is nothing. If the cultivation level is low, it can be cultivated. However, not everyone can have the ability to fight above their level, Yin Shui said. Jiao Qing nodded. He knew that he had good taste, but Yin Shui's taste was even sharper. Night Sorrow was very happy when he returned to Yang Lei's mansion. Did you succeed? Yang Lei asked. Yes, it's a success. Night Sorrow took out his Tianji Tower patrol token and showed it to Night Sorrow. Really? You're too fierce. You haven't even reached tier 3, yet you already have the Tianji Tower's inspector token, Yang Lei said excitedly. Give me some resources as well. Night Sorrow took out some pills and began studying them. After studying for a while, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. Jiao Qing gave all the best spirit congealing pills, which was enough for Night Sorrow to cultivate to the 4th order. That's enough. Not bad indeed. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow enviously. She had worked hard in the past, but she had never met the requirements of Tianji Tower. She hadn't entered the purple circle, and she wasn't willing to be a peripheral member. That's great. You are a direct member of Tianji Tower. The Golden Flame sect won't dare to easily carry out the dragon-slaying plan on you, Yang Lei said excitedly. Didn't you say that the members of Tianji Tower are secrets? Didn't I leak it? Night Sorrow said. That's nothing. The Eastern Profound Domain is very vast. When you officially take office, you won't necessarily take office in the Medicine Valley area. At that time, you have to pay attention to keeping your identity secret, Yang Lei said to Night Sorrow. Well, then I understand. Ninth Senior Sister, I plan to go to the Longquan courtyard and take Silver Fox to the Bamboo Forest Peak, Night Sorrow said. I'll go with you, Yang Lei said. Night Sorrow knew that this was Yang Lei's kindness, so he didn't refuse. The two of them left the mansion. It's not far. Let's sit on my blue condor. Yang Lei released the blue condor and said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow nodded and followed Yang Lei to land on the back of the green condor. Then, they flew towards the Longquan courtyard. Senior Sister, the Dragon Spring courtyard is suitable for cultivation. You should stay in the Dragon Spring courtyard. Don't stay in that mansion. Your mansion is grand and luxurious, but it has a stifling aura, said Night Sorrow. If you're not in the Dragon Spring courtyard, there's no point in me going. Yang Lei shook her head. Yang Lei shook her head. Night Sorrow didn't know how to answer Yang Lei's words. He also liked the Dragon Spring courtyard, but Sikong Chuyu's safety was a problem. Yun Xia and Chuyu had both been to the Dragon Spring courtyard, so it wasn't very safe. He was reluctant to leave Sikong Chuyu alone in the Bamboo Forest Peak, but he also felt uncomfortable when he saw Yang Lei like this. For some reason, Night Sorrow's heart ached. Senior Sister, are you happy to be the city lord? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, I really don't want to be the city lord. At that time, we were all in the Dragon Spring courtyard. That was the happiest time. Yang Lei sighed. Didn't Master say that you can leave everything to your subordinates? You don't have to do it yourself. Night Sorrow said. Yang Lei rubbed her forehead and said, Usually, I can, but there have been too many things happening recently. The problem with the Golden Flames sect has been solved, but two more groups of people have appeared in Danding City. Their cultivation bases are very high, but we still can't figure out where they came from. We don't know where they came from, so we sent people to investigate. They're not from this area. Let's stabilize the situation first. When the situation is stable, we'll go find Master and give up the City Lord position. Night Sorrow didn't want to see Yang Lei unhappy. If the situation is stable, then there's nothing to do as the City Lord. I'll be free. It's because the situation isn't stable that I'm frustrated. Yang Lei put her hand on his shoulder and said. Night Sorrow patted Yang Lei's back, but he didn't know how to comfort her. Don't worry. Your ninth senior sister isn't that weak. I can handle this kind of thing. I just don't like it. Yang Lei said with a smile. Soon, the two of them arrived at Longquan courtyard. Night Sorrow came down, and the green condor and the silver fox cub appeared. They directly jumped onto Night Sorrow's shoulder and seemed to be very affectionate. Make some wine and dishes. I want to drink with ninth senior sister. Night Sorrow said to Hai Luo, and Luo Wei made tea for Night Sorrow and Yang Lei. 13. When I think about you being the inspector of Tianji Tower in the future and having to leave Medicine Valley, I feel uncomfortable. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Ninth senior sister, don't worry. I'll bring ninth senior sister with me wherever I go. How about that? But when that time comes, ninth senior sister won't be able to be the city lord. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Bullsh *T. Do you think I like being the city lord? The city lord is worthless in my eyes. Yang Lei glared at Night Sorrow and said. Then I understand. I know. Night Sorrow nodded and said. Square root h yong p geo free *. Look at the little girl. Yi Shang knew his own situation. he would have to go out sooner or later. Putting aside the matter of the celestial terminus citadel, Sikong Chuyu's matter required him to go to the Qingtian region. In addition, he had to find his family. Knight Sorrow usually didn't talk about looking for his family, but this matter had always been in his heart. Who didn't have parents? Who didn't miss them? Besides, Knight Sorrow knew that something must have happened to his family. Otherwise, when Father Gu found him, it wouldn't have been so tragic. What are you thinking about? Don't frown so much at such a young age. Yang Lei reached out and knocked on Knight Sorrow's head. After the dishes were served, Yi Shang opened the wine and the two of them began to drink from their bowls. Knight Sorrow was really happy. Joining Tianji Tower was equivalent to opening a door. It would be much more convenient for him to go out in the future. However, Yang Lei wasn't. She was in a bad mood and directly drank too much. Looking at the drunk Yang Lei, Knight Sorrow helped her to the room to rest. As soon as they entered the room, Yang Lei vomited all over her skirt. Chapter 223. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. After placing Yang Lei on the bed, Knight Sorrow reached out and took off Yang Lei's combat boots. After hesitating for a moment, Knight Sorrow reached out and unbuckled Yang Lei's belt. Then, he took off Yang Lei's outer skirt and carried Yang Lei, who was wearing only her underwear, to the bed. Then, he covered Yang Lei with a blanket. Holding Yang Lei's dirty skirt, Knight Sorrow washed it and hung it outside the attic. After thinking for a while, Knight Sorrow returned to his room to cultivate. He originally planned to leave with Silver Fox, but now that Yang Lei's condition was not good, he could not leave directly. After cultivating for a whole night, Knight Sorrow woke up early to cultivate his spear skills. After cultivating for a while, he heard Yang Lei shout. What's going on? 13, come here. Knight Sorrow put away his spear and went to the attic where Yang Lei lived. Ninth senior sister, why are you still calling for me? I asked Tai Luo, and they said that you were the one who sent me back last night. They weren't the ones who took off my clothes. At this moment, Yang Lei was only wearing a pink tight-fitting bra, and her beautiful figure was in full view. Yes, ninth senior sister. You drank too much last night. I helped you back. You vomited on your body, so I helped you take it off and wash it. Knight Sorrow walked over and took down the skirt that was hanging to dry. Then, he handed it to Yang Lei. You. If it was someone else, I would chop off his hand. Yang Lei blushed. She glanced at Knight Sorrow and went back to her room. At this time, Knight Sorrow also felt that it was inappropriate. However, he did not think so much at that time. He just felt that Yang Lei's skirt was dirty. If he did not change it, she would not be comfortable sleeping. After standing awkwardly for a while, Knight Sorrow went to the side to tease the silver fox cub while watching Tianyu eat. Little Six knew that Knight Sorrow was coming back, so he bought the corpses of demonic beasts early and roasted them to feed Tianyu. The first 9 shots after Tianyu finished eating, Knight Sorrow planned to leave. He was too embarrassed to see Yang Lei. When Knight Sorrow was about to leave, Yang Lei came over. Are you going back? Yes, ninth senior sister. I'm sorry. I didn't think too much. Knight Sorrow lowered his head and said. I'm not blaming you. It's just that when I woke up this morning and saw that my clothes were gone, I got a little anxious. Knowing that it was junior brother, I won't get angry anymore. When Yang Lei woke up in the morning, she found that her clothes were untidy and her chest was exposed. She didn't know that it was caused by her rolling in her sleep, so she was anxious. Baidu search AI go female sign Xiao say www.aichuxs. Calm nodding to Yang Lei, Knight Sorrow got on Tianyu's back and left. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Yang Lei's blushing face showed a smile. At this time, Night Sorrow was like a deserter. However, she wasn't sure if Night Sorrow saw anything. Sitting on Tianyu's back, Night Sorrow suddenly remembered what Yang Lei said. She said that there were strangers in Danding City, and they were experts. Thinking of this, Night Sorrow returned to Longquan Courtyard. Why are you back? Can't bear to leave Ninth Senior Sister? Yang Lei asked with a smile. I heard from Ninth Senior Sister that there are some strangers in Danding City, and their cultivation is very high. Could it be related to Chuyu? Night Sorrow said. This was what he was worried about. I thought you couldn't bear to leave Ninth Senior Sister, but it turns out that you're worried about your little lover. Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow and said. I also can't bear to leave Ninth Senior Sister. Night Sorrow said. What you said is very possible, so Sikong Chuyu must not come to Danding City and Longquan Courtyard. Yang Lei nodded seriously. She was joking about some things, but when it came to serious matters, she would never joke. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. They came a long way to find you, you have to take good care of them. Yang Lei reminded Night Sorrow. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. You can't leave Medicine Valley now, the alternate space is about to open. Also, you have to participate in the martial arts competition in the Golden Flame sect area. Otherwise, you can go out with Sikong. Yang Lei thought for a while and said. Night Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything. He knew about these things. After saying goodbye to Yang Lei, Night Sorrow rode Tianyu back to Bamboo Forest Peak. You're back, did it go well? Sikong Chuyu was very happy to see Night Sorrow. It went well. Night Sorrow put down the silver fox cub in his arms and took out the black token given to him by the Empyrean Terminus Tower. Patrol token, not bad, it will be more convenient in the future. You will also have less pressure. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Less pressure. They asked me to continue to work hard, saying that the black token isn't the end. Night Sorrow said with some puzzlement. Could it be? Could it be that Eastern Profound Region started the Celestial Fate project for you? Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow with some astonishment, then she became excited, so excited that her face blushed. What's the Celestial Fate project? Night Sorrow asked puzzledly. Originally, this was a secret, but it doesn't exist between us. The Celestial Fate project is the core of Tianji Tower's training. Those who can pass the test of the Celestial Fate project will have a much higher status in Tianji Tower. It should be said that it's terrifyingly high. Core members such as the Chief Enforcer and Branch Leader are all selected by passing the Celestial Fate project. Not all the Chief Enforcers have passed the Celestial Fate project, as long as they are excellent, it's fine. However, branch leaders must pass the test. Sikong Chuyu said. Then I'll have to continue to work hard. Night Sorrow said. He liked this kind of challenge. Continue to work hard. If you perform well in the Celestial Fate project, you will be designated as the successor to the Chief Enforcer, Branch Leader, and so on. With Tianji Tower behind you, your growth will be much smoother. Even the major clans of Qingtian region will have to give you face. Sikong Chuyu said. My identity must be kept secret. Even if I have a high status, I still have to hide it. Night Sorrow said somewhat gloomily. Are you stupid? Your identity in Tianji Tower is hidden, but your superiors and friends can wear masks, right? Can't I give you some face? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. So it's possible. Then I'll continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. His heart was filled with motivation because this direction of hard work would bring him closer to Sikong Chuyu. Generally speaking, Tianji Tower pays attention to talents until the end of the day. The Celestial Fate project will only start when an especially excellent seedling appears. If you can perform well in the Celestial Fate project, the Golden Flame sect won't dare to touch the Medicine Valley, Sikong Chuyu said to Night Sorrow. Isn't Tianji Tower not involved in local power struggles? Night Sorrow asked, somewhat puzzled. Yes, but Tianji Tower will protect the power of its core members. If their birthplace is destroyed, who can still work in Tianji Tower with a calm mind? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chapter 224. Geniuses remember love in 1 second. We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Can they? Absolutely. Tianji Tower doesn't have many core members, but they are all powerful people. For example, if you want to attack the Golden Flame sect, Tianjin Tower will send a top-level expert to kill the venerables of the Golden Flame sect. If that happens, will the Golden Flame sect still have a foothold in the Eastern Xian domain? Sikong Chuyu asked with a smile. A genuine cent, indeed, this is the real way to kill the leader. Night Sorrow nodded. Tianjin Tower didn't need a lot of people. They only needed top-level experts to be a deterrent. Of course. If Tianjin Tower wants to attack the Golden Flame sect, they will send a top-level expert to kill the venerables of the Golden Flame sect. Then, they will go to the surrounding top-level sects and ask them if they can attack the Golden Flame sect. If they can't, they will kill their venerables. That will be enough. Who would dare to refuse? Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Chuyu, I want to ask you something. What if two forces both have core members of Tianjin Tower, and there is a conflict between them? Night Sorrow asked. He found that Nanjinqing was in Tianji Tower, so there would be a conflict between the forces with core members of Tianjin Tower. At that time, the attitude of Tianjin Tower would be the key. Sikong Chuyu explained to Yishang, it's very simple. First, it'll be best if it can be adjusted. If it can't, then it'll depend on whose status is higher and who is more important to the Extreme Heaven Tower. It's that simple. Under normal circumstances, it can be adjusted. If you don't give face to the core of the Extreme Heaven Tower, then your future days won't be too good. Don't you agree? Yishang nodded. He understood Sikong's logic. Night Sorrow then told him what Yang Lei had told him. I expected this. I'm Abba's only weakness. Those uncles won't let me go so easily. That hateful Ji Yuhao, I didn't expect him to be so despicable, said Sikong Chuyu angrily. It's a pity that I'm too weak. Night Sorrow's eyes dimmed. Sikong Chuyu walked to Night Sorrow's side, held Night Sorrow's hand and said, You're still young. That Ji Yuhao is already in his 40s, almost 50. How shameless. Sikong Chuyu, who was wearing a pale yellow dress, looked at Night Sorrow with her expressive eyes. Her beautiful hair swayed in the breeze, and even the slightest strand of hair could affect Night Sorrow's heart. Turning around, Night Sorrow looked up at the sky and roared, his voice echoing in the air. You're right. I'm still young. I'll work hard. Night Sorrow turned around and grabbed Sikong Chuyu's shoulders. Baidu search AI go female sign shao say www.aichuxs.com I believe in you. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and smiled. Night Sorrow gently closed his arms and hugged Sikong Chuyu. He didn't say anything because there was no point in saying anything. He had to do it. After a while, the two of them went to the front of the bamboo house to make tea. The two of them looked at each other and drank their tea. They didn't say anything. Everything was conveyed without words. When the sky darkened, Night Sorrow went to cultivate. If he wanted to gain a foothold in Tianji Tower, he needed to have a stage 4 cultivation level. He hadn't even reached stage 3, so he was a little far away. Upon seeing Night Sorrow go to cultivate, Sikong Chuyu also went to cultivate. After breaking through to the spirit-severing stage 8 at the Longquan courtyard, she had returned to Yunwu Mountain. Before coming out this time, she had completed another breakthrough and entered the spirit-severing stage 9. Now, she needed to stabilize her cultivation level and straighten out her thoughts in preparation for her future breakthrough. I go shao say w. Chu. The next few days were quiet. When Night Sorrow planned to go to Danding Cliff to cultivate again, Hua Yunping, Yu Yangyu, and Yang Lei came. 13. This is Su Chenbai's storage ring. I'll leave the spirit stones inside for you. As for the other cultivation techniques, I'll leave them to the sect. Hua Yunping took out a storage ring and handed it to Night Sorrow. Grand Elder, I don't need it. If Grand Elder hadn't appeared in time, I wouldn't have been able to escape from Su Chenbai's pursuit, Night Sorrow said. It's only right to protect you. You offended the Golden Flame sect because you contributed to the sect. Hua Yunping didn't wait for Night Sorrow to refute and threw the storage ring to Night Sorrow. 13. The elders saw that you were good at fist techniques in addition to spear techniques, so they used the materials stored in the merit hall to make you a claw glove. Yu Yangyu threw a shiny silver metal claw glove to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took the claw glove and felt that it was very heavy in his hand. This claw glove weighed at least 150 kilograms. It was made of pure metal and could be used to move the fingers and wrists. The front of the 5 fingers were sharp spikes, and the back of the hand had protruding metal ridges, which were suitable for fist techniques. Try it on. It's a masterpiece that the Grand Elder worked on day and night without sleep. Yu Yangyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow put his right hand into the claw glove and waved it. The claw glove made a sharp sound as it sliced through the air. The claw glove was very heavy, but it wasn't big and only covered the wrist. Night Sorrow took out his reincarnation spear and demonstrated his spear techniques. He realized that wearing the claw glove didn't affect his spear techniques. It seems to suit you. You won't have a problem with close combat in the future, Hua Yunping said. Night Sorrow nodded. The claw glove was indeed very suitable for him. Most importantly, it didn't affect his chasing wind spear technique, which was his favorite part. Yu Yangyu reminded Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu, your 9th senior sister came back and told me something. The people from Danding City should be here for Sikong. You two shouldn't go out during this period of time. Just cultivate steadily. They won't be so bold as to come to our Medicine Valley. 9th senior sister, are you sure? Night Sorrow looked at Yang Lei and asked. I'm sure. During this period of time, they appeared near Enforcer Dong's residence and even went to the Dragon Spring courtyard. This proves that they are here for Sikong. There are 2 groups of people, and the leaders are all at the 5th level of cultivation. They are much stronger than me. Yang Lei nodded seriously. Chuyu has brought trouble to everyone. Sikong Chuyu bowed slightly and said. Don't say that. I like you. Since you are 13's friend, then stay here peacefully. I will go to Danding City later to take a look. This is not a place where they can do anything. Hua Yunping said. Thank you, Grand Elder. Night Sorrow nodded and said. Alright, then you two cultivate. I will leave first. Hua Yunping nodded to Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu and left with Yu Yangyu. 9th senior sister, is it serious? Night Sorrow asked. Indeed. These days, they have been very rampant. They are just short of saying that they are looking for someone. I even saw Yunxia. Yang Lei said. The situation is complicated. Night Sorrow understood the current situation. Who cares if it is complicated or not? You two just stay here at Taishian Peak. I don't believe that they will dare to come to Taishian Peak. Yang Lei sat down and said. Then we will listen to ninth senior sister. Sikong Chuyu nodded. Ninth senior sister, you can stay here tonight. Yi Shang said. Won't I disturb you too? Yang Lei's beautiful eyes looked back and forth between Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu. Ninth senior sister, what are you saying? Sikong Chuyu said embarrassedly, you're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.